the conquering hero, Patham Nissanka, who scored 100 on this ground the last time he was on it, alongside Kamil Mishara. They just have to play within themselves, Alex, and another famous victory in this World Cup beckons.
Turn myself on helps. Absolutely. I wouldn't say they've got to play within themselves. When you say within themselves, you don't mean like tentatively.
No, just
the way they played. Yeah. For sure. Well, I think the way they played against Australia showed two different ways of getting up to 180, didn't they? They didn't massively take advantage of the power play like Australia did. They went at 9, 10 and over, don't get me wrong, it was a great power play, but then they stuck up with the rate the whole way through the innings. They went at 9 and over. They do that, they'll win comfortably here. They obviously have the capability. I do think if England can get early wickets, they give themselves a sniff.
Yeah, they certainly can. Jofra Archer's got the ball in his hand. England will need some early wickets here as the lights have come on at the Palakkale Stadium. Still quite bright in the air, but the sun will begin its descent in the next half hour or so, and hence the lights are on full blast here at Palakkale. Very beautiful stadium. The fans anticipating a big win for Sri Lanka, unless England can throw a monkey wrench into the works. 146, 147.
Palakkale International Cricket Stadium, Kandy.
Take heart, England, knowing that they've defended a lot less than that recently against Sri Lanka, that third T20. That's where they've got to lean on. Here we go. Jofra Archer with a slip in place, running in to Mishara, who goes for a big booming pull shot, misses as the ball goes beneath his bat through to the keeper. When I was saying they got to play within themselves, what I meant is just don't do that.
Okay. I'm not happy with that one, are you? The pull shot.
No. Did you just use hand sanitizer?
Yes.
He's got a very strong odor.
Well, there was a man that came into this.
Right up my nose.
That's it. Well, there's a man that came into this box and just touched me, and I don't understand why. So I asked for some hand san.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Saying hello?
Well, he just shook my hand, but it was all.
Was it a moist handshake?
It was. I needed hand san.
Jofra Archer into Patham Nissanka again, who pushes this ball to mid-on for no run. Sorry, I said Mishara, didn't I? So Patham Nissanka is on strike. He's played the ball back to the bowler. There is no run. Well, Jofra Archer, tidy start so far, but what England need from him is an early wicket. And if he could get rid of Patham Nissanka early, Alex, I think England would fancy themselves to put some pressure on and really run this chase close.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got Kusal Mendes, which he's an incredible batter as well, and then Ratnayaka, Kamindu Mendes as well, but I think once those top four have gone.
Here's Archer, no slip anymore, as in he comes, pull shot attempted. He sort of connects with the back of his bat, does Nissanka, as the ball drops short of short third, but completely misjudged the pace on that one, did Nissanka. 3 balls into the Sri Lanka innings, and there is no run scored yet.
Are they going to have to do a little, I thought they might have to do a little concussion test, but
it was only Jofra's slower ball, only 127 kilometers per hour.
Well, slower balls have outfoxed
England
batters on this surface, and I saw a interesting conversation Moeen Ali was having the other day.
It's Jofra in again, goes full, clipped off his pads this time by Nissanka, towards deep backward square leg, a sliding stop by Phil Salt. Sri Lanka through for a single, 1 for no loss. What was Moeen on chatting about?
He's working for Sky Sports. He's out here with his own podcast, but he was talking about Jofra Archer, the way that he's bowled in this tournament, and he's saying he's one of the best bowlers in the world. He's got so many skills, but he's doing too many things in an over. He's bowling 4 or 5 different variations in an over when maybe he should potentially go back to basics. Look, there's been a lot of outside noise about this team, and certain players will see it, certain players won't, but if Moeen Ali's had that conversation with Jofra,
shaping away from the left-hander. Swings a long way away, actually. Was diving a lot. Was Joss Butler, but there is no run.
Moeen Ali's had that conversation with Jofra. He might just try and be a little bit more consistent today and go back to basics, because I did see Moeen Ali was at England's training yesterday.
Yeah, I just bumped into Moeen a little bit earlier outside. In good spirits as always. 1 ball to come in this over. Swing in that last delivery from Jofra Archer. Watchful. Slip back in place for the left-handed Mishara as Archer in. Big swing from Mishara. And that's too wide this time from Archer. It's been signalled a wide by the umpire. Not dissimilar to the previous delivery, but maybe just a touch wider. Again, lots of swing on offer in the air. Going away from the left-hander. 2 for no loss.
Not too dissimilar, maybe a touch wider. Quarter wide.
Yeah. Well,
it wasn't though. It was inside the wide line.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It looked almost like the same delivery, and Archer was bemused, and for good reason, as he sort of stopped in his run-up.
Boundary on Kamil
Mishara awaits as Archer runs in rhythmically and bowls, driven on the up and out towards deep backward point. Thickish outside edge really on that occasion. It's a single to get off the mark though, does Kamil Mishara. He's on one, Nisanka's on one. Sri Lanka 3 for no loss after 1 over. Pretty tidy stuff there from Jofra.
Yeah, really nicely bowled. Did get the ball to swing away on a couple of occasions. Bowled 2 slower balls in that over which outfoxed the batter.
Yeah, certainly did. It's a little bit of a frenetic energy about England at the moment, out in the middle. It's going to be Will Jacks to bowl the second over. Now this is very interesting, Alex, because we were chatting in the car on the way here that we thought there might be rain at the time, and we thought, okay, if it's going to be a 5-over-a-side game, who would you bowl first? Yeah. I think it was unanimous, Jofra Archer, but I was sitting in the front, I didn't chime in, I was doing something else at the time, but I was thinking, I'd probably throw it to Jacks, you know, the first over. Well, he's got the second one anyway, as in he comes. Slightly turning delivery, goes through backward point. Poor piece of fielding, and that ball's going to run away to the boundary for 4. It's not good stuff there at backward point, and it allows Sri Lanka their first boundary. 7 for no loss after 1.1.
I'm just looking to see who that is. Bethel, which is so unusual for him. He is one of the best fielders in the world, and his full-length dive, I reckon he's stopping that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, he just sort of
skipped on the surface on that cut grass.
Jacks wasn't happy, and he comes again. Similar this time, and Bethel throws his whole body behind him. I think he stopped that with his torso.
He said, there you go, I've got that one, boss.
Yeah.
Don't bowl short and wide, please.
He's looking for that length where he can get a little bit of turn, but maybe needs to go a little bit fuller, Jacks. Maybe give the ball a bit more air. A bit like that, a bit fuller, driven. Straight to
licensed team
Sri Lanka. If anybody's ever watching cricket, and you know, quite often you watch the bowler and the batter, obviously, but if you have the opportunity to watch Jacob Bethel in the field, just the way he walks in, the way he sets.
There's Jackson again. This is again short, not punished. Straight back to Bethel on the cut and on the dot ball.
He is what all kids should look at, the positions that he gets into in the field. His walk and step, his ready position. No wonder he's such an unbelievable fielder.
Jacks is in to Mishara, who drives off a thick inside edge. Jacks himself fields. He's an excellent fielder, but if you're going to copy his technique, maybe not that first one, not that one, but the next 3 were good. Jacks, after that boundary first ball, has made himself a little bit difficult to score off. 4 dots in a row for Jacks. Is there a big shot coming from Mishara? Jacks in. Mishara drives, but again picks out Bethel at cover. It's a 3-player game at the moment, really. It's just Jacks, Mishara, and Bethel. 1 run off that. 4 runs off that over from Jacks. 7 for no loss, Sri Lanka. After 2 overs, they're chasing a target of 147, which was almost 20 runs more than they failed to chase the last time they met England here at this cricket stadium just 3 weeks ago. And, a lot's happened since. Sri Lankan team picking up a bit of confidence. 3 wins in the group stage for them.
Middle stump
just 1 loss apiece really for them. Sri Lanka losing to Powerplay. Been outstanding, unbeaten so far in this tournament. And England dropping that game to Now then, Jofra Archer in for his second over. Batham Nisanka on strike. Makes a bit of room, drives, but straight to mid-off, and there is no run. Tom Banton at mid-off. Great
pick-up from Tom Banton.
It's good energy about the England team. Lots of noise inside the circle, encouragement for Jofra Archer. He's getting some chat from Harry Brook, who's just circling him at the moment.
Just telling Jacob Bethel at backward points go deeper onto the fielding circle.
Archer into Nisanka again. Again, makes a bit of room outside off and guides this ball expertly behind point to the boundary for 4. It's a terrific shot that from Patham Nisanka. A shot of a man in all sorts of form. Just guided it so nicely. Perfect placement. Sri Lanka 11 for no loss after 2.2.
I love Jofra Archer's reaction there. It's a brilliant shot from Nisanka. He opens the face of the ball, plays it off the stumps. And Jofra Archer
you catch brother.
How dare you? How dare you? If this one isn't a bouncer, Jofra Archer's not a real fast bowler.
He did play this shot quite a few times against Nathan Ellis when that famous win for Sri Lanka against Australia early in this tournament. As Archer is in, he goes full this time and down the leg side. Nisanka gets a little bit of bat on it and sends it to the fine leg boundary for 4. He's looking for something maybe a little bit squarer, but he'll take the fine one. Well, Nisanka, back-to-back boundaries for Sri Lanka, 15 for no loss after 2.3.
Well, this is why I was never a fast bowler. He's gone for the knuckle ball, the slower ball. Jofra Archer down the leg side, gets whipped for 4. Might have been too predictable, clearly, if I was a fast bowler.
Yeah, Nisanka is in terrific touch at the moment. Fine leg and third inside the circle. It's the power play, so only 2 fielders allowed in the deep backward square leg and deep mid wicket.
Stump line la mattum pottana takkana thiruppi leg side veliye poran.
Conversation about the field between Archer and Harry Brook, and now what he's doing is he's calling that deep backward square fielder inside the circle. So fine leg is staying in and deep backward point in position. So the implication being that this one's going to be outside off stump. Archer into Nisanka. Oh, he's flicked it away gloriously out towards mid-wicket, but there's a fielder there who takes the catch. What a catch from Overton there at mid-wicket, right on the boundary, and that is a big blow from England. Jofra Archer dismissing Patham Nisanka. Sri Lanka's talisman in this tournament is on his way. 15 for 1 Sri Lanka. And goodness me, there's a change of atmosphere in the stadium here with that dismissal, Alex. Palakele falling silent.
Yeah, lovely from Jofra Archer. Frustrated with the previous 2 balls, obviously, but this time he goes pace on at the stumps. Nisanka just looking to flick the ball into the leg side, but there was a deep backward point and a deep mid-wicket, and he's picked out that deep mid-wicket fielder perfectly. He's barely had to move Jamie Overton.
Well, Kusal Mendes walks out to the middle. Sri Lanka's
50 runs.
Wicket keeper, also world-class batter.
That
is a big blow from England. We've got a low total to defend. That's a good start. As you say, Alex, pace on delivery, 150 kilometers per hour. That one.
Ball is jumping out of the stop. Oh, 6.
And well, it did for Nisanka. And then I'd argue sort of the all sorts that he's bowled. I know Moeen was saying he needs to be a bit more consistent, but the all sorts sort of got him that wicket in a way in that over.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just not being predictable, mixing up his pace, mixing up his length. He sort of got where it was his man. Doing exactly the job his team needed him to do.
Timing.
As Archer, yeah, he went for the 2 boundaries early in the over. For England, you can see the back of Patham Nisanka after that. You'll take it. And Kusal Mendes just taking a moment, setting himself. Fine leg is back, as is the deep square leg.
47
Archer into Kusal, who gets forward and defends in a classical manner, back towards the bowler. There is no run. All of a sudden, there's a completely different vibe here at this game.
Yeah, starts with a slow ball there, Jofra Archer as well. Probably expecting pace on is Mendes.
Just looking at that catch again, Overton's done really well because he's not a million miles away from the boundary. Good awareness of his position. And big celebration from Harry Brook and Sam Curran there, just fist pumps and smiles. Archer turns at the top of his run, and in he comes. It's on the pads, been flicked away to the fine leg boundary for 4. That's a poor delivery that from Jofra Archer. And Kusal gave it the treatment. He picks up a boundary to get off the mark. Sri Lanka 19 for 1 after 3 overs.
Yeah, expensive over from Jofra Archer. Yes, he got the wicket, but 12 runs coming off it, all in boundaries and all in different areas. He just didn't quite get his line right there, Jofra Archer, to get himself out of the over. Easy picking. Kusal Mendes to flick the ball into the outside.
Yeah, maybe Moeen was right. Let's go back and forth. Now that Will Jacks is going to bowl the second over here for England. Tidy start for him earlier, just 4 from his first over. It was just him and Mishara and Bethel who were working in that over. As Jacks is in, this time the ball's turned to just behind square leg on the offside. Shy from the fielder at the non-striker's end, but the batter comfortably home. Is that a leg by? No, it's been given runs. 20 for 1 Sri Lanka.
3-wicket loss overs. Powerplay.
It's an intriguing contest, now, especially with that early wicket. Get the feeling this one's going to go down the wire. Had Sri Lanka just gone on a tear in the power play, or even if they were sort of 40 for no loss, like you'd think, okay, this has the feel of a chase that's going to be done in 17 overs. But that early wicket of the in-form Nissanka brought England back in this game. Fuller delivery from Jacks is driven to mid-off. There is no run. Bowled really well to his field so far as Will Jacks. Just conceded one boundary from his 8 balls, and that was due to some poor fielding from Jacob Bethel at cover.
Another wicket pitch.
Here's Jacks again. Chip back to the bowler, who's taken it. Yeah, it's a catch. He's gone. It's Kusal Mendes who's gone. He took it in such a nonchalant manner there, Will Jacks, that I thought for a second it was a bump ball, but no, it's a wicket, and it's another big one. Kusal Mendes goes. Will Jacks with a caught bowl has a second wicket in the power play for England. Sri Lanka 20 for 2. Well, Alex, what a turn that is.
Yeah, it's such a soft dismissal, isn't it? Just looking, he was actually looking to turn the ball into the onside. Was the wicket keeper, and he just patted the ball back to Will Jacks, and this is exactly the start England needed. They've not got a massive total on the board. Sri Lanka only need 147, but they find themselves in a little bit of trouble here, something that they haven't done throughout this World Cup, throughout the first lot of group games. But that was
yeah, really was a soft one. And as I say, Will Jacks took the catch, set himself, did it very professionally. It looked like a training drill, really. And of course, the crowd fell silent. I think even they were there was a bit of disbelief about that dismissal here in Pallekele, as Bhavan Rathanayake makes his way out to the middle. Also a very talented batter. But there'll be a bit of pressure on now. Sri Lanka 20 for 2 after 3.3, going at under a run a ball. And that required rate just starting to tick up a little bit, heading towards the 8 mark. A chance for England to squeeze here.
No wicket, back-to-back wicket.
Disappointing power play earlier in England. Now returning the favour. Jacks into Rathanayake, who comes down the track, he's skied this, got a long way up in the air. Fielder sets himself underneath it and takes the catch. Will Jacks is on a hat-trick. He's taken 2 in 2. Excellent catch from Tom Banton. Rathanayake goes first ball, and now Sri Lanka in all sorts of trouble. 20 for 3 after 3.4 overs. The atmosphere has completely changed here at Pallekele.
What a stupid shot. Stupid shot. Will Jacks, first ball, comes down the pitch, he tries to send it to the absolute moon. It goes straight up the chimney, a simple catch from Tom Banton. There was just absolutely no need for that. Now the game goes from Sri Lanka at the halfway stage being in control, having England right where they want them, to now virtually, we know how fragile this middle order can be for Sri Lanka, basically just giving them game.
Yeah, it was poor from Bhavan Rathanayake. He's better than that. Batted well in Sri Lanka's previous game. Now he's headed to the dugout, and well, Dunith Wellalage, who played a terrific role for Sri Lanka with the ball earlier, is now required to play a big role with the bat as well. Kamil Nishara on 6 off 9 at the non-strikers and can hardly believe what's going on. Right now, Welalage's got to face a hat-trick ball from Will Jacks.
Hat-trick ball.
We've been waiting for the second hat-trick. There's been quite a few instances of bowlers on hat-tricks in this World Cup.
We've not had
different
another one yet, have we?
No, it was West Indies, wasn't it, the first hat-trick? Here we go. Hat-trick ball here in Pallekele. Slip in place for Will Jacks. In he comes to Wellalage, who defends this ball with a thick outside edge to backward point, and there is no run.
That's well bowled from Will Jacks.
Oh, you catch it.
Thank you, Daniel. Of course. He was sort of mouthing it to me, but I couldn't work it out. You got to be exaggerated with your minds. Here's Jacks in full, flicked out towards just wide of mid-on really for a single. It's really good over that from Will Jacks. Just the 2 runs coming from it, but more crucially, 2 big wickets. Kusal Mendis and Pavan Ratanaika in consecutive balls. Will Jacks. See, that's why I'd have him in my power play every single time.
There you go.
Terrific stuff. 21 for 3 Sri Lanka after 4 overs, chasing a target of 147.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit in this surface. I think Jofra Archer's going to bowl his 3rd as well inside this power play. It's very similar tactics to what Sri Lanka did in the first innings. When they were on top of the game, they didn't feel like they needed to change things up. Well, England are on top of the game here, so they don't need to change things up.
Yeah. Just thinking about qualification as well. If Sri Lanka do lose this game,
இந்த கேப்ல அடிக்கலாம்.
fate won't be
ஐயோ.
decided until the final game of the group against Pakistan. Back here in Kandy on Friday. Friday? I think we're back on Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, because Thursday in Colombo, we're doing a lot of miles actually. We're going from here to Colombo to do 1 game on Thursday to come back here on the Friday.
And then who knows?
Archer in for his 3rd over. Malagage defends to backward point, no run. And I like this from Harry Brook. Just keep Archer going.
Well, we've got a team of Team Pakistan here, because obviously if Pakistan get through to the semi-finals, potentially final, then we stick around. If not, we're on our bikes. So, come on, Pakistan.
Other teams are available. 7 of them in this competition.
You can support who you want.
You can support who you want. You absolutely can. I'll tell you what, a lot of the Sri Lankan supporters miffed at the performance from their batter so far as Archer comes in. Well, Alage looking for a ramp shot, steps across his stumps, exposing all of them, and lucky for him, that ball bounces over them through to the keeper.
Boundary.
I don't know about the shot selection here, Alex, but it's not been convincing from Sri Lanka.
It's not at all. I think I'm just trying to compare the games with Sri Lanka and... What?
Well, Daniel's mentioning that Dunith Wellalage has been promoted up the order. Archer into Wellalage as well, who guides this ball to deep backward point. Just a sort of square 3rd. Phil Salt there makes an acrobatic stop, a single taken. So I guess the point
already 4 wicket lost
there is that he's been promoted up the order, perhaps to make the most of the power play some big shots, things like that. But I would argue at this point you got to stabilize a little bit. Going under 5 and over at the moment, Sri Lanka in the power play.
Also, England have got one of the best spinners in the world to come on out of the power play. He's been expensive in this World Cup, though.
Adil Rashid. But now he's got his podcast buddy in the house. He'll have to do better.
He'll have to perform one. He'll have to show off.
Archer into Mishara, who defends this ball.
Oh, boundary.
22 for 3, and there's a different energy about the England players now. Harry Brook, been impressed with his captaincy actually. With those chats with Jofra Archer, trying to get his fielders in the right place. And he's right there with him after every delivery as well. Right there with him is Harry Brook, celebrating his 27th birthday today.
Harry Brook.
Let me time
27. Do you know there's been only one other captain to play on his birthday? Who is it?
Archer into Mishara, who drives outside edge and it's taken! Another wicket. It's Jofra Archer and it's Kamil Mishara who's standing his ground. He wants to check that catch had carried, but it looked good to me. Looking for a big booming drive, thick outside edge, travels to short 3rd inside the circle, who takes the catch. Sri Lanka 22 for 4 in the 5th over. It's quickly turning into a horror show performance from them. Let's take another look at this catch. Yep, outside edge, ball travels to short 3rd and he takes it, straight into the palms. No question about it. That was pretty solid from Overton there. Mishara's going to have to go for 6 off 11. Sri Lanka 22 for 4.
Well, every team has a game in a tournament where they fall in a heap, don't they? More or less. You think of, well, maybe not India, but every team has a game where they really underperform. Have the highs of beating Australia gotten a little bit too much here for Sri Lanka?
It was quite
easy to run.
Sort of confident and bullish at the toss was Dasun Shanaka. And, thinking about chasing, he backs himself, his team to chase anything 160. He was talking about 160 at the time. But right now, Sri Lanka look like they're going to struggle to get to 147. They were bowled out for 118 the last time England played them on this venue. It was never going to be a straightforward chase. I think you probably would have
3 runs oditta.
Even so, 22 for 4. I think it's beyond their wildest dreams. I can see Sanath Jayasuriya, their coach, in the dugout looking very disappointed and very angry. It's a bit stoic these days, the son of Jayasuri. He was in our
boundary
after the big win against Australia. And he looked stoic then after a big win. So imagine how he's feeling right now. Well,
before Jofra gets another wicket and before you depart, who is the only other player to play on his birthday and captained his side?
I'm going to be guessing. Is it a male player? Okay, I'll give you the guess after this ball. Archer. Outside edge. Out to the deep third region. That'll be a boundary. So Sri Lanka's captain gets going with a boundary, but still England very much on top. After 5 overs. Right, Alex Hartley, I'm going to hand over to Daniel Norcross, but I'll have a guess before I go. Is it David Gower?
It is not.
Okay.
So Harry Brook, his 27th birthday today. He will be just the second player to captain a side in an ICC T20 World Cup on their birthday. The other was Virat Kohli versus Scotland in Dubai on the 5th of November 2021, and he was 33.
I thought you meant English batter. Anyway, never mind. I'm making you wait for Daniel Norcross.
Whatever. English captain. Yeah. Might have had given you the option of the world.
Yeah, I don't think that was a very easily gettable question myself. Right. Sri Lanka 28 runs behind par on Duckworth Lewis. We have a match as in comes Jax. It's cut through backward point for 4. So 2 balls ago, Sri Lanka are in the complete doldrums now. They've picked up a couple of boundaries. 30 for 4. Well, Alagay has been promoted from 8 to 5 to keep on making the most of the power play. They are playing fearlessly in the way that Harry Brook wanted them to. Ratnayaka charging in his first ball. It's not been as effective as they might have liked it to be. As picked up 2 wickets, is in now. Goes on the sweep. He's going to get more runs. He's got it fine down to the boundary. 3 fours in 3 balls. A crowd come to life. And the required rate, which had got up to 8.2, is now back down to a very manageable 7.7. Now, a couple of other things, a couple of other bits of housekeeping to give you. We have now had 5 overs. This will be a result, even if the rain were to come in. Somebody is winning this game. Somebody's getting 2 points and is going clear at the top of the table after yesterday's washout. Jack's now under a little bit of pressure. His first 2 overs went for just 6 runs. He picked up a couple of wickets, but Alagay, who's come in instead of number 8, is determined to make as much as he can out of this. There's 4 balls of it left. Jack's in again. He defends on the front foot. Matt Henry, BBC Sport writer on the website, has joined me. The lights have come on. I don't think anybody quite envisaged this scenario playing out as Jax is in again. Down the wicket comes Alagay and he yorks himself. Ball squirts to square leg. No run. Just 2 more balls for England to have to bowl in the power play. Then they can bring on Adil Rashid, Liam Dawson. They can send the field back. Jax just wants to get out of this over if he can. Alagay swings at this, could be out. Caught him mid-on. Brook takes the catch. Sri Lanka are 5 down. Jax has his 3rd. Alagay, determined to make as much out of the power play as possible, has given another wicket away, and Sri Lanka have lost half their team. We haven't even finished the power play. He goes for 10. Caught Brook, bowled Jax. Sri Lanka 34 for 5.
Well, I can only imagine what we'd be saying if this was England playing like this. I mean, it's not a big total to go after. You can see that on the big screen, a young Sri Lankan fan with hand over the face. Sanjay Jayasuriya looks like he wants to hit something in the dressing room. Looking at the start of that over, I was about to say those 2 boundaries is what makes it so difficult for a captain in T20 cricket. Harry Brook had kept Will Jacks on. He bowled him early. He got him 2 wickets. He's his part-time bowler, his sort of 5th, 6th option.
6th, really?
Yeah, realistically 6th. He'd go Archer, Overton, Curran, Rashid, Dawson. So yeah, 6th, and Jacob Bethel would probably bowl him if he was fully fit. But he got a cut on his finger. But yeah, gets hit for 2 fours, and then you think, oh, is he the gamble gone for 1 too many? Pulled him out of the attack, and then he does get the wicket to the left-handed batter in, keep him on. That's why we talk about matchups, and he clubs it straight to, mishits it.
Well,
to mid-on.
Today's top orders on both sides, Phil Salt aside, make ugly reading. England's 2, 3, 4 and 5. No, back to one of them got to double figures. I think there were a bunch of single figure scores in there.
Brook got 14, did he?
Brook, I think, got 14, but Sri Lanka have lost Nisanka for 9, Mishara for 6, Kusal Mendis for 4, Ratnayaka to a brain fade of his first ball for a duck, and now Walalage promoted up the order as part of a, well, I suppose positive plan from Sri Lanka, but they're playing as if they think this pitch is really tricky and they've got to get as many runs in the power play as they can. Because don't forget, with yesterday's game being rained off, net run rate's unlikely to be significant because those two teams will pick up 1 point. So unless there's another rain off, these two teams aren't going to be in a net run rate situation.
Yeah. And the weather forecast, as much as we can trust it, looks to improve a lot from tomorrow onwards, doesn't it?
It does. Now, Dasun Shanaka, the skipper, has come to join Kamindu Mendes. He's known as a bit of a striker of the ball, but he's going to have to rein himself in, you'd think, because Sri Lanka got to build a partnership from somewhere. From 15 without loss, they've lost 5 for 19, and Will Jacks 3 for 14. He's bowled all of his overs in the power play. Archer's bowled 3 overs in the power play. We saw, as Alex Hartley mentioned, similar tactics from Sri Lanka when Lianage bowled 2 in the power play, Madhushanka bowled 3. So England are going to go through a power play with just 2 bowlers. That won't have happened too often, I wouldn't have thought, in T20 international cricket. Certainly not recently.
And it means there's Rashid and Liam Dawson to come.
Boundary.
Precisely.
Jamie Overton hasn't bowled yet, who's actually bowled pretty well in this tournament.
Neither is Sam Curran. It's almost a dream start. Slips in place as Dasun Shanaka faces his first ball, drives up to mid-off. That's the end of the
Again,
ball goes
super.
to Harry Brook. What a power play for England. Sri Lanka finish it 34 for 5.
Just
They really couldn't time it, they couldn't score runs, but what they didn't do was lose 5 wickets, and I would say, more just as pertinently, Sri Lanka's 9, 10, 11 are not Overton, Archer, Rashid. They're Rahid Tichana, Chamira, Madhushanka. That's not a great bottom 3, and you know, Dushan Hemantha is not really well known for being a big
back foot la cuts at 50.
Now Sri Lanka have got to find another way.
Livingston 50 super.
Sunraza signals the end.
Wicket
The field can spread. Liam Dawson can come in to bowl. We'll imagine see Adil Rashid very shortly. It's a fairly standard field. Long on, long off, deep mid-wicket. Deep cover and a deep backward square leg. Kamindu Mendes, he's hit his first ball for 4. That's all he's faced. Dawson is into him. Coming left arm around the wicket. Back into his crease he goes and pushes the ball but doesn't get it past. A diving Brook at short mid-wicket. There's no run.
The vibes changed of England in the field as well. I was just wondering, I was saying upstairs to some of our colleagues in the press box, England seem to be getting a bit twitchy amongst each other. Bit of arm waving.
Dawson in again, punch, but this time past the right-handed Brook. Take the single up to long on. That's got to be the Sri Lankan way now. Yeah, you saw a little bit of
grumbling between. I mean, Jofra Archer is quite often like that. He holds high standards to his fielders, shall we say? And that's maybe that's what makes him very, very good.
Well, Jacob Bethel let one through, didn't he? And that's
Will Jacks had a little moan. I think it was at Liam Dawson actually, who got when Sri Lanka nicked a single when there probably shouldn't have been one there. But I mean, now Brook's in tight, rolling around, high fives everywhere. It's changed.
Shanaka. He's going to play a different role today. He's facing up and he just flicks the ball into the onside. They might get to, they won't. They haven't run the first quickly enough, but it went into that pocket, that danger zone, just at the edge of the circle. And you take the single, 36 for 5. I think for the next 8, 9 overs, Sri Lanka have just got to look to tick this over at a runner ball and hope that they can get 10 and over off the last 5. Would that be the method, you'd imagine? Dawson in the works, a short mid-wicket, every dot ball as that one is. Just going to put the pressure on. The required rate up to 8.3. The 5 wickets down are important. No signs of rain, but were it to come, miles behind on Duckworth Lewis at Sri Lanka as well. Dawson really trying to get through this over as quickly as he can. That's clipped into the onside. It'll probably just be the single. It will. One of the features of Sri Lanka's batting the other day against Australia was the number of twos they took. They were electric between the wickets. They're going to put pressure on England's fielders in this hugely important game. They're all important by this stage of a World Cup. Dawson in, work, back to the bowler, no run. 3 runs off it, just the 3 singles. Sri Lanka after 7, 37 for 5. Dasan Shanaka on 1, Kamindu Mendis on 6. And are we going to see Adil Rashid immediately, or is Harry Brook just going to say, I can hold you back a bit here, you know? I could have another over of Will Jackson, why not?
Yeah, big call. I just wonder, I'm going to throw this out there.
Is it the over too many?
Well, maybe, yes. But I wonder whether, if Sri Lanka are going to just knock it around, whether it's worth Brook bringing one of his 5 deep fielders up. You see it so rarely.
Yeah.
We've got a huge gap here.
Watch, it's a horrible ball. It was, as I say, very rare drag down from Jacks. He's just got 2 more balls to get out of this over now. That's what he'll be thinking. Just given the treatment by Shanaka, who's more usually a finisher further down the order. He's got a lot more work to do today than that, as he's beaten on the outside edge. The ball just goes past.
Drifted, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. The ball before, horrible, ugly. That one, an absolute beauty. Didn't know what on earth was going on. 44 for 5. 1 ball left in the 8th. As he works this ball around his pad, up to long on, takes a single. Overton comes in off the boundary. 8 off the over. The requirement is 8.5, so Sri Lanka be fine with that. But in a weird way, so will England. They've bowled Jacks out. 4 overs, 3 for 22. Just the 1 ugly drag down in that, and a 4 from a misfield. There's 10. He's only conceded 12 off the other 22 balls he's bowled, and crucially for England, he's got 3 wickets into the bargain. Well,
I was just going to say, Dan, he was Jacks after that drag down you mentioned that got clubbed over the leg side. Jacks was wiping his hands on his shirt, I think trying to dry them, which I imagine at this time is probably more sweat than due. England will definitely hope.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be due just yet.
Boundary.
Sunset here, I can tell you. There's Dawson. He's in, worked into the onside. Dawson's going after it. He kicked into 1 and he manages to. Already 6 for 5. It's about 6:19, 6:20, which would be with around about probably 5 or 10 minutes to go in the game. Yeah. And then the due
timing
would come after that. So it shouldn't affect this game, barring rain and delays and coming back out, but no sign of that at the moment. Nice bluish skies, kind of mackerel clouds. Dawson into Kamindu, who can only work this ball around his front pad, straight to short mid-wicket. Brook, there's no run. Shanaka and Kamindu Mendis are the 2 finishers for Sri Lanka, and they've come in basically in the end of the power play. Unfamiliar roles for them. Dawson, left arm round the wicket. Shanaka goes big. Or Mendis, I should say, out over deep mid-wicket. It's got all the way. All the way into the crowd. Wasn't an enormous lot wrong with that ball, just a little fuller than the others. And that's the danger for England as the 50 comes up. 52 for 5. These 2 are perfectly capable of clearing the boundaries.
அடுத்த wicket.
Kamindu Mendis has done it against England before, didn't he? He did it in Test match cricket, and now the worry is he does it in T20 cricket. That 2024 summer, wasn't it, when he went 100, 100, 100. It's a brilliant performance, so he can definitely bat.
95 needed off 69. Dawson in, chip back to it, gone! They've lost a 6. Kamindu Mendis, a huge wicket goes. A leading edge, back to the bowler, looking to turn the ball into the onside. Dawson is it for 6, and then he responds with a wicket the very next ball, and that's a massive blow for Sri Lanka, because now Sri Lanka after 8.4 are 52 for 6.
Very similar to the Kusal Mendis wicket we saw earlier, or as a mirror image, in that was a right-hander playing into the leg side to an off-spinner. This one a left-hander playing across the line into his leg side off a left-arm spinner of Liam Dawson. A bit early on the shot. We said earlier the pitch was a bit tacky, a bit stoppy maybe when we were criticising England. How good their score looks now, but I'm still not sure England batted particularly well. But
well, Sri Lanka after 8.4 overs have hit 7 4s and 2 6s. England only managed 11 4s and 4 6s. Most of those were Phil Salt. They got 6 of the 4s and 2 of the 6s. So, you know, they're hitting boundaries. They're showing incredible intent. They've hit 40 of their 52 runs have come in boundaries, but they've also lost. They've hemorrhaged wickets. And now Dushan Hemantha comes in at number 8. After that, there's the bowlers Tikshana Chamira Madhushankar. It's another left-hander, Hemantha. But now it's going to be tricky to take any kind of risk. And you can see Adil Rashid warming up down below us. He's going to be coming on in a minute. The 5th leading wicket taker in T20 international history.
Looking at me like I should know that off the top of my head, Dan. I think you're right.
I think I am. I've got it in front of me, yeah. Have a little quiz. You can see if you can guess the other 4. Or no, it might be a guess. Dawson. Into Hemantha. He's going to face his first ball now. Goes back into his crease and just works the ball well up towards long on. He's run the first briskly, but he's not going to get a second. 53-4-6. So I tell you, Adil Rashid has taken 156 T20 international wickets. The man in 4th has 158. And the man in 2nd has 164. So he's not far away from them as Dawson is in. This is worked away, well squeezed away really to Adil Rashid at short fine leg. You might as well get the ball. He's about to bowl. There's no run. 8 off the over, so still those occasional 6s. They're keeping Sri Lanka, well, give you the run rate there. But Matt Henry's got to go. He's got work to do. Alex Hartley's got to get back on commentary. With Sri Lanka 53 for 6, requiring 147 to win in this. The second game of the Super 8s. The first was washed out yesterday between Pakistan and New Zealand. The winner of this game will go top of the group. And we'll know that if they win their next game, I think that guarantees they go through. I think that's the way the numbers work. As Alex Hartley rejoins us, at the moment England are in pole position for that, but Sri Lanka has got their skipper Dashan Shanaka there.
Because Sri Lanka are just giving wickets away. Left, right and centre.
It's kind of amazing, isn't it? Right. Adil Rashid is in. Bowls a leg break that's just defended by Hemantha into the onside. This is where it's going to get really difficult for Sri Lanka. They can't afford just to sit on Rashid.
No.
But they've got to be skillful enough down the order to be able to keep the singles coming at the very least, even if they're not going to go for the big hit. There's a slip in place. Rashid's in. Oh, he didn't know if he's going to play that shot in the end. Eventually puts a bit of bat on it, rolls it up to Overton at long on. Brings Shanaka back on strike. The skipper, got to take it deep here somehow. Alex Hartley.
Well, the run rate's fine. You only need 8.5 and over. It's not a problem.
No.
But they're 6 down.
And no one's found it easy to hit around today, as this next ball is just pushed into short extra cover. So what he could do with that. Daswin Shanaka, a ball that's a top spinner perhaps, just came on to him. Pushed out into the offside. And there is no run. In comes Rashid. Still got that slit there. He's gone. Oh, he's dragged that down a bit. This could be 4. No, it's going to be fielded on the deep backward square leg or long leg boundary. Throw comes in. Bit of a slippy, slidey stop, that one. Just a few misfields and fumbles there. Sam Curran this time. He's usually got very safe hands. They pick up a couple. 56 for 6.
I thought you were going to make an excuse for his misfield then.
No.
Sorry,
Lateness.
Yes, he's pushed a short extra cover, no run. Although I would point out that 3 of the wickets to fall today have come from
Indian match on the 6:30 kita sa morning no 6 o'clock aala.
Last ball of the 10th, and then we'll be halfway through Sri Lanka's chase.
Adukla the match on
47. Rashid in, down the wicket comes Shanaka, which was a risky move in the end. Adil Rashid sees him coming, he just pushes the ball into the onside. There's no run, that rate has gone up above 9. 6 wickets are down, 10 overs remain. Sri Lanka 56 for 6. What a dramatic day we've had. Alex Hartley, I'm not going to say did we misread the pitch, we asked about the pitch, but are we getting our answer now?
Well,
I'm making way for Ahmedabad.
I keep thinking about this, Dan, and I'm trying to think back to all the other games that we've done here, and maybe one or two batters that managed to get runs when no one else did were just batting really well. I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out, to be honest with you. Look, there's been some poor shots from Sri Lanka, there was some poor shots from England as well, but Phil Salt's knock is looking increasingly the anomaly.
Anomaly.
Speak.
Anomaly. Nom.
I can't speak. I can't speak.
Right, Liam Dawson's about to come in for his third over. Sri Lanka need 91 from 60 to win this game. Dawson in. Hemantha drives down towards long off for a single. Right, now Daniel introduced a really interesting thread and then just disappeared, really, because he talked about the top wicket takers in the history of T20 international cricket. I reckon I know some of these.
Okay.
So, other Rashid's at 5, right? Number 1 has got to be Rashid Khan, is that correct? It is correct.
He could end up with 1,000 wickets, couldn't he?
The other two, I'm pretty sure there's 2 New Zealand players in the top 5. Am I correct? Okay, I'll work out who they are in a second. As Dawson in, swept fine. Excellent stop at short fine leg. Sam Curran there threw himself at the ball, and if the ball had got past him, it would have gone for 4, but it didn't, so they get a single, 58 for 6. I'm going to say Ish Sodhi. Who's the other New Zealander? Ish Sodhi's at 3, so we need New Zealand at number 2, and we need the number 4.
Team at the minute.
Dawson into Hemantha, who punches this ball past a diving Dawson. He gets a hand to it, but they still pick up a single down to long on. Who's the other New Zealander? Not Santner. That would have done it. Alright, okay, it'll come to me in a minute.
Sam Curran down low.
Mustafizur Rahman? It is Mustafizur Rahman.
The Fizz.
The Fizz. Number 4. Alright, I'm just missing one. I'll get there in a minute. Dawson into Dasun Shanaka. Full. Pounded back over the head of Liam Dawson on the bounce for 4. Terrific shot that from the Sri Lankan captain. 63 for 6 after 10.4.
Yeah, lovely shot from Shanaka. Just keeping that run rate ticking over as well. 7 runs coming off this over with 2 balls to spare. They've got to get their 9 off this one. Put Liam Dawson under a little bit of pressure.
Dawson into Shanaka, cramping him for room. He defends the ball back to the bowler. Tim Southey? It is Tim Southey. There we go. Thank you, Daniel Norcross, indulging me in this quiz.
It gave me a good 5 minutes off, so perfect.
That's what I guess the top wicket takers in T20 internationals. Well, Alder Rashid is now at number 5. As Dawson in, cramping Shanaka for room, works it out towards mid-wicket. Single taken. This partnership up to 12 now of 14 deliveries, so just starting to pull things together.
But who did he knock off number 5 to become number 5? Who was 5?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah, I know.
I think it might have been Ross Adair, or at least he's in the mix.
Ross Adair doesn't bowl.
Sorry, Mark Adair, beg your pardon, yeah. Mark Adair, because he's got like 130 or 140 wickets.
Okay.
I don't know who he knocked off, actually.
Do you know what is a beautiful sight? This cricket ground now, Atif. Now we can see the jungle.
Yeah.
Every time we've been here, we've obviously been here at night time, it's been raining as well. We've not been able to see the hills and the distance.
Vanindu Hasaranga is who he knocked off. Who's not featuring for Sri Lanka in this tournament anymore. Out with an injury. Big blow for Sri Lanka. As Overton is in now for his first over. Shanaka works this ball out towards fine leg. Looking for a second. Coming back, taking on the arm. But plenty of time. They make that 2 in good time. So, Sri Lanka, all the 6s. 66 for 6 after 11.1 overs. That required rate just above 9 and over. They can keep building this partnership. They'll be in with a shout, Sri Lanka. 81 of 53 balls required.
Yeah, the run rate's absolutely fine. It's the wickets down and who's in the middle.
Overton in full, flicked off his pads by Shanaka down towards fine leg. Jofra Archer does the fielding. It'll just be a single. Jamie Overton just required to keep things tidy at the moment. If you can get you the wicket, that's a bonus, but England in control at the moment. That required rate just above 9s. These 2 batters, though, definitely capable. Dasun Shanaka, the Sri Lankan captain, and then Hemantha as well. Nishant Hemantha just playing his 4th innings in T20 cricket as this ball's driven firmly back towards Overton, who gets a hand to it, enough to keep the ball travelling too far, and there is no run. Yeah, just his 4th
last
innings
over spinner.
Hemantha. High score of 14 not out. So he's going to have to put in something like a career best of Sri Lanka to get closer. Dasun Shanaka, very classy player, 7 T20 half centuries for him, a high score of 74, average just below 20, but he's a better player than that. Here's Overton, into Hemantha, cuts this ball out towards deep extra, jog through for a single. It's been reasonably tidy stuff this from Overton, 79 needed off 50 now for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, just attacking the stumps. Bold pace on for the previous 3 deliveries, so Shanaka here might just be thinking, when's that next slower ball coming?
Mid-off is up inside the circle.
Boundary.
Long on his back. Fine leg is deep. Third is in the circle. Overton in, full. Shanaka watches that slower ball, plays it out just in front of square on the leg side, picks up a single.
It's really nicely bowled. The off-cutter runs his fingers down the side of the ball, attacks the stumps. It's like nice little dibbly-dobblers, that one.
It's up to 9.5 and over, the run rate required.
Oh, all out at that.
Sri Lanka have got 2 more games coming up after this. One against New Zealand, and then the final game of the Super 8 stage against Pakistan. Overton to Hemantha, who looks for a pull shot. Oh, he's hit wicket. Oh, he's knocked his own bails off. Oh, Hemantha, what have you done? Looking to play a pull shot, loses his balance and knocks his bails off the stumps. It's a hit wicket. I can't remember the last time I saw a hit wicket, but we've seen one here in Pallekele today. A 7th wicket goes down for Sri Lanka, 69 for 7. The crowd here are stunned. There is a stunned silence about this place. That was really poor from Dushan Hemantha. Really poor, really. Just tapped the top of the bills with the face of his bat.
Well, it's the pull shot. He's swizzled round. He's not got hold of the ball, and he's almost done a 360. But as he's swizzling round, his bat just drops, and it hits the stumps. I mean, that is a little bit village.
A hit wicket in a World Cup match in the Super 8 stage. Well, I never. 69 for 7. Dushan Hemantha goes for 5 from his 8 deliveries. And the silence that fell upon the stadium, it was a moment of realization as well, because it happened. I don't think he realized straight away until he saw Jamie Overton just sort of jumping about, celebrating in front of him.
Jamie Overton also like put his arm up to celebrate and then was like, huh? What?
How'd those bails come off?
What's just happened?
Well, Dushmantha Chameera is not renowned for his batting.
What's the lowest total of this World Cup so far?
Oh, okay.
That's a very good question.
I can tell you. Well, I'll have to do some scrolling.
You have to do a bit of scrolling.
Challenge
Dushmantha Chameera's batting average in T20 cricket, which is 4.9.
97 all out Namibia against Pakistan, I reckon.
Well, if England can start the Super 8's campaign with a bigger win than that over the hosts, or the co-hosts, I should say, that would be something. Dasun Shanaka is still out there for Sri Lanka. 78 needed off 48. England closing in. Here's Adil Rashid. Flighted delivery. Shanaka pushes this ball into the vacant cover region, picks up a single as Bethel runs in from the boundary and fields. Very good performance with the ball from England today. Just taking a look at the replay of that hit wicket. It's just appalling.
Yeah.
Just completely appalling awareness of space and just really bad. It is just really bad, yeah. Now, Harry Brook has brought himself into the slip position for Adil Rashid. For the new batter, Dushmantha Chameera.
97.
97 was the lowest total?
Yeah.
Okay. 27 more for Sri Lanka to get to beat that. Rashid in. Flighted delivery, chipped down the ground, long off, will run in but won't get there. It's Overton, who was deep on the boundary. The ball just dropped short of him as he was sprinting in. And he'll take a single. Chameera off the mark, 71 for 7 Sri Lanka, and now staring down the barrel of a big defeat here in Pallekele. A required rate just below 10s. It's the wicket column that will bother them the most. 7 down already as Rashid is in. Shanaka with an elegant flick down towards long on for a single. Required rate is exactly 10 and over. 72 for 7. Sri Lanka have been appalling really with the bat today. It's really, really poor shot selection. Just kind of handed England the advantage. As Rashid is into Chameera. This is short and wild, and It's been left alone down the leg side. It's been signalled a wide.
But Adil Rashid just said sorry.
I feel like of all the shots that have been attempted by Sri Lanka, that was a ball that deserved a pull shot. Deserved to be sent into the stands, but no shot offered. Wide ball taken. Rashid in, this time Fuller, and just dug out by the batter, middle of the bat, and then Adil Rashid was appealing. I don't know why. It was off the middle of the bat.
Yeah. Well, if you don't ask, you don't get. And we're going to see this one on the replay. Bang out the middle of the bat.
His foot was miles away from it.
No ball.
Chamira on strike. Rashid flighted delivery, strikes the pad, but outside the line of leg stump, so no run there. This has almost turned into exhibition cricket, this from England. I can see a few Sri Lankan fans starting to head for the exits. Packed house here.
I was about to say it's really packed out the second innings as well.
Rashid in.
Sri Lanka
there is no run. Very good over that from Adil Rashid. Sri Lanka 73 for 7. They need 74 from 42 balls.
England
are whistling through their overs as well. 5 minutes ahead of the allotted time. A lot of spinners. We've seen 4 overs of Will Jacks already. That will have helped.
Yeah.
But then we have also seen 7 wickets fall, so that's 7 batters going to.
Well, you get that time added on as well.
Yeah. And whistling through here. The sun begins to set here in Kandy.
Yo, radio ground la pora music la kekkude. Copyright la potra poran.
Will Jacks, what a game for him.
The World Cup idu copyright varadilla.
Enjoying the action, satisfied with his work today. Now, it'll be Jamie Overton to bowl the next over. Figures of 1 for 5 from his 1 so far. Sri Lanka's captain, Dasan Shanaka, on strike. As Overton bowls. Try to pull this. It's gone straight up in the air. Chance for a catch. No, it falls short of Jofra Archer running in from fine leg. Well, moral victory there for Overton, inducing the false shot, but Shanaka survives. He takes a single. 74 for 7 off 13.1.
Some would say perfectly placed. It nearly, very, very nearly hit Spider Cam as well.
That'd be a dead ball, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
that's the best escape from being caught off a skyer is when Spider Cam comes to your rescue. Now, Overton at the top of his run, just waiting for Ishmanta to be ready to face, and now he is. As Overton bowls, Chamira wrapped on the pads, but got a little bit of an inside edge, which is the only reason for an appeal for LBW. Looks very uncomfortable. Looks every bit as average at the moment, Dushmantha Chamira.
Yeah, he really does. He really, really does. It's just now a case of just England being patient, not trying to force things, clean up the tail. And Jamie Overton doing that really nicely, just attacking the stumps, not overcomplicating things.
He does have a best score of 24 not out in T20 internationals.
Right there.
There's Chamira.
The match is interesting.
Overton in again, short ball, just fends that off, does Chamira. Taking evasive action, really, just happened to get a little bit of his bat handle on it as the ball floated on the There is no run. Oh, fearsome delivery. Was it a bit of gloves on there, maybe?
Yeah, punched it.
Ooh, bit of shoulder on there as well.
Bit of everything.
But
not enough cricket bat.
No, and it certainly didn't carry. England are rampant here at the moment. And Balakele as Overton into Chamira. Again, gets a little inside edge onto his pads.
Gosh, this is hard to watch, isn't it?
It's really, it's tough going, really, because Chamira and Overton is a bit of a mismatch, to be fair. Sri Lanka are in trouble. 38.
It's like when you've got a really competitive parent in the garden.
Yeah.
And they just keep making you look stupid. Yeah. Whether it be with football or like if you're playing football with your mum or dad, your dad just keeps lobbing it through your legs and going, Megs, Megs, Megs. And there's nothing you can do about it because you're like a 4-year-old kid.
Oh dear. Overton into Chamira. Again hits him on the pad, but he gets it to trickle fine down towards fine leg. So he'll take a leg by, and I feel like he'll be praying that Shanaka can also take a single on the final ball of this over, so he doesn't have to face too much more of this.
I think everyone in the ground's praying that there's a single.
But
and they're going to go have a chat, and I think that chat was very clear.
Run.
Now, I love that Chamira, the non-strikers, is giving Shanaka some advice. There's that. Was just gripping a little bit in the surface.
Well, to be fair, good advice. It is. Those slower balls are doing a little bit.
Well, Shanako's on 24 of 22.
157 போற ஸ்பீட் அசால்ட்டா அடிக்குறான் பேட்ஸ்மேன்.
It's a tough equation though. 72 needed off 37 as Overton into Shanaka makes a bit of room, goes after this, clobbers it down the ground, all the way for 6. That's a big 6 down the ground. A shot of defiance there from the Sri Lankan captain. He moves on to 30 off 23. Sri Lanka 81 for 7. They need 66 off the final 6 overs to win this game.
It's a great shot. A great shot from the skipper. Just clears his front leg, shimmies outside the leg stump a tiny little bit, bangs the ball back down the ground. And they needed that, Sri Lanka. You can hear the crowd now are up and about. Everybody was silent. Jamie Overton says, but that great shot, and it was.
Yeah,
off the stump, decent delivery, pace on for Overton.
Adil Rashid, Jacob Bethel.
And, well,
Will Jacks.
You're going to take a drink now, the players. 14 overs into this innings. 81 for 7 Sri Lanka. It's been poor already. The top 4 dismissed for single-figure scores. 9-6-4-0. Sounds like a country code in these parts. And then Wellalage, 10. Kamindu Mendes, 13. And really the only resistance coming from the captain, Dasun Shanaka. 30 off his 23 so far. Dushan Hamantha had the dubious distinction of being the first player to be hit-wicket in this World Cup. I wonder if that's the only hit-wicket in the World Cup. I've got to look this up, Alex. I've got to know this.
How would you find that out? I wouldn't even know. And I can't even ask Hypercourse because I'm not on Twitter anymore.
Oh, yeah. Well, if Hypercourse listening, they could get in touch with me, I suppose.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Hit-wicket.
But yeah, I think England having a drink now. Sri Lanka with the coach out there just having a chat. I mean, there's not much Sri Lanka can do from here. They more or less need 2 a ball. They need an 11 and over. It'll be 12 and over before we know it. There's too much for the captain to do. At the halfway stage, I'm looking forward to hearing Harry Brook actually at the end of the game, because at the halfway stage I thought England were probably about 15 shy of where they needed to be, and I thought they'd given Sri Lanka a sniff. But the way they bowled in the power play, and they were like, we might not have got enough on the board, but we've got enough to bowl at, and there's a difference.
There's been a few hit wickets in World Cups, but I think this is taking
into account
like qualifiers and things as well. Hardik Pandya was hit wicket against England in 2022 in Adelaide at that World Cup. He was hit wicket. Mohammad Arfan of the UAE against Afghanistan in this World Cup. He was out hit wicket. Okay.
Was he?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Versus Afghanistan
I didn't watch that one. Yeah.
AB de Villiers in 2010 was out hit wicket against Australia in St. Lucia.
Well, there you go.
Misbah Huq in that final of the T20 World Cup at Lords was dismissed hit wicket against Sri Lanka. And David Ubuya was the first ever player to be out hit wicket in a T20 World Cup. He plays for Kenya, or played for Kenya, and is opponent was New Zealand. So there we go. That's a complete list of hit wickets. Dushan Hamantha has become the 6th player to be out hit wicket at a T20 World Cup, men's T20 World Cup.
There you go.
Now then, Adil Rashid is in for his 3rd over. Still got a slip in place. Into Chimero, comes down the track and drives down to long off. Will take a single. And that's
crowd like that single.
Well, they get it. That's what he's got to do. Get Shanaka on strike, see if he can put a few big ones away. Take this game a little bit deeper. Keep Sri Lanka in with the chance. The required rate is of over 11 for Sri Lanka. As Rashid is into Shanaka, pulls this ball out towards mid-wicket. Chance of a catch, it's taken. He's thrown it back into the field and the relay's been taken. Excellent work there from Jackson Banton. Will Jacks at mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket on the boundary, took the catch, was going to go over the boundary, so he chucked the ball back in. Banton collected it. Really outstanding stuff from England on the boundary. Just brilliant teamwork, great awareness, tag teamed that catch, and Sri Lanka's captain is gone. Shanaka goes for 30 of 24, Sri Lanka 82 for 8. They need 65 more from 34 to win, which, honestly, Alex, looks very, very unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely, won't happen. And Shanaka just looking to heave Adil Rashid into the leg side. Brilliantly done by Will Jacks. He's having to track backwards. Tom Banton goes to meet him. That is the perfect teamwork. We've seen it in this World Cup. We saw Babar Azam do it with Shaheen Shah Afridi early on in the tournament, and we've seen it there. These lads practice it all the time. They know the awareness. They know when they need to move, when they don't, but it's getting the timing right of you jump and you're throwing the ball to your teammate. Not only that, but it's also throwing it in the direction of your teammate. Brilliant bit of work by Will Jacks there. But ultimately, Tom Banton takes the catch.
I know. I feel like there should be a different way to credit catches like that. I think eventually there will be, but for now...
It'll be caught Will Jacks and Banton.
Yeah, we get 0.5 catches each.
There you go.
Yeah, that would do, wouldn't it? Well, for now, the scoreboard will tell you that Banton took the catch. Adil Rashid takes another wicket.
Is Dan Norcross going to be required? 2
Okay.
wickets to go. 4 balls before Norcross comes back in.
I'll tell you what, if another wicket falls, I might have to hand to him because I've got to go down and chat to some of the players. So,
good luck.
Yeah, well, Rashid into Deekshana, who defends this ball into the offside.
Didn't it look like he was going to leave that then?
It was a nervy-looking defensive shot.
That was.
He didn't commit to it until the very last second. Looking at that pull shot again. Terrific stuff from Jackson.
Just made it look so easy.
You know what was really impressive about that was the throw from Jax to Banton as Rashid is in once more, driven beautifully by Deekshana out towards deep extra cover and a sliding.
Stop it!
Terrific sliding stop.
Stop it!
Jacob Bethel.
Is he having me on?
They managed to get back for 2.
That is
the catch. So he took the catch and then he had to judge his throw to Banton and he was doing it with his
right
right hand.
So
he just had to flick it, but with the right amount of power and everything. And just nailed it, Will Jacks, as Rashid is in, outside edge, goes through the vacant third region, Archer's giving chase, the ball slowing up on the outfield a touch, they should get back for 2, they do. So, a couple of runs to finish that over, but England are closing in on victory.
Field set
for 8. They need 61 from 30 to win this game. It would take something of a miracle at this point. But how good have England been today in the field and with the ball, Alex Hartley, tell us. And then to take you through to the end of this game, it'll be Daniel Norcross.
Yeah, they've been good. They have been good. They needed it, didn't they? They needed a good power play, and Will Jacks, an absolute Brucey bonus for England today, bowling 4 overs on the bounce, taking 3 for 22. Has changed the game. You know, everybody that's come in has made an impact. Every bowler's got a wicket. But when they were halfway stage, we were saying before, they were probably shy, they were under the pump, they needed a good power play, and they had the perfect one. I mean, whenever you're taking wickets in a power play, you used to talk about when you get 3, it's impossible to win a game. Well, England took 5 in the power play.
Dawson is going to bowl his 4th and final over, and he's into Chamiro, who's not got going, 3 off 9. And defends on the front foot, back to the bowler, no run. And look, I can't quite see a scenario in which net run rate is going to be that significant, owing to the fact that, thank you, 1 game was actually rained off yesterday, so that makes 2 teams with 1.
Same length
So really, Chamira's just got to try and swing for the hill. Which he hasn't done there. He's just come down the wicket and pushed the ball into a gap. An extra cover, and they take an easy single. 60 needed from 28. Oh, ye of little faith, there would have been people listening to this broadcast who were convinced that England's batting performance was just symptomatic of their woes at the moment. And indeed, you know, listening to the way Harry Brook had said, he didn't want anybody to be getting out through a lack of fearlessness. Now they've gone for the little ramp. That's magnificent. It's going to run down towards the boundary.
Tiksana 4 la adikirom.
Oh, it will, because Sam Curran has slid with the ball onto the sponge. So, very handy little boundary there from Deekshana. 56 needed of 27. He's just done the flipperoo up and over the left shoulder. Flicking the tie out of the soup.
Oh!
I mentioned soup because I've just had a very lovely mushroom one upstairs. Very tasty it was too. And the chicken in mushroom sauce.
Can't talk about food, our teeth's fasting.
Oh, sorry. But there should be some for him when he gets back. Just in time, 6:19 today. Dawson in, clipped into the onside, up towards Overton at long on. They take the single. 6 have come from the first 4 balls for the over. 55 needed from 26.
When he leaves the room, or in 12 minutes, you can tell me all about it.
I will. Very nice.
One or the other.
Dawson into Chamira. Comes down the wicket, clips it in the air, chips really. It's got into a little pocket, but far shy of the stumps. Oh, it's hit at the non-striker's end. I think he's home.
Should
Archer
be.
wants to have a look. So the throw was aiming, I think, at the stumps at the non-striker's end, and it just kept going all the way down towards the striker's end. But I mean, the requirement is about 2 a ball, so anything of that sort, he's home, fine. Keeps them in touch, 94 for 8. This is the last ball of Dawson's 4 overs. There's still another over of Rashid, another over of Archer. Will it be 2 overs of Overton, or will there be a bit of Sam Curran?
Ooh, hadn't he?
Not seen any Sam Curran.
Any Sam Curran Sterling his slow balls would be effective on this surface as well.
I think against 9 and 10.
Yeah, but
not a bad call, don't you think?
Maybe rest.
Dawson into the speed. His spell. He's got him. Bold, dancing down the wicket. Jamira didn't get to the pitch.
99 for 9.
Ball. And the Zing Bales light up. The stumps are clattered. Sri Lanka have lost their 9th. They're on the brink. They're 94 for 9.
Yeah, Dawson finishes his spell with 2 for as well, but that was a horrid heave. And we were saying the lowest score of this World Cup so far is 97. According to my notes, I am missing a game, India, Netherlands, but I'm back in Netherlands to have got.
You're fine.
Yeah, they did all right, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think that was a 97.
No, I think that was a 150-ish.
Yeah, some words on Liam Dawson. 2 for 27 in 4. You're a left-arm spinner. This is his first World Cup. It's lovely for him, isn't it?
Yeah, he's always sat on the bench, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's good to see him get out there. 35 years young is the left-arm spinner. But he's just bowled really nicely today. Mixed up his pace, mixed up his lines, and he deserves that 2 for.
Well, he's one of a spin
6:30 in the game. Next game start
Adil Rashid will now be looking to make that 7 and go into joint 4th place, leading wicket takers in T20 internationals. He's got a pretty good chance of it, I'd say, with Dikshana on strike and the slip in place. In he comes. Dikshana swings and gets next to nothing on it as it rolls into the onside. 53 needed from 23.
Snooker Q.
But what would feel like such an unlikely win at the halfway stage at various points when England were batting.
So intrigued to hear Harry Brook.
Rashid tosses this up, goes for a big sort of pull, nothing really on it. It goes down to backward square leg. They take the single, which will bring Madhu Shankar on to strike against Adil Rashid, which you can't help thinking is something of an unequal struggle here.
Third stand off 4.
That might be true. 52 needed off 22.
I think.
A couple of 6s here.
I think he's going to toss one up. Yeah. He's going to get giddy and get stumped.
Let's see, Nostra Hartley, if you're right, as Rashid is in, and they're driven to short extra cover. Beautiful shot, actually. Really lovely shot along the ground.
All out.
I think they need a bit more than that at the moment, but he's had a sighter.
England won.
From 21. Rashid comes in, still got that slip. And got him! Bowled him! It's all over. Done with the googly. Madhushankar went for the swing. He's missed it. And England have pulled off victory in their first game in the Super 8s by 51 runs. 7 wickets for the spinners. In the end, a dominant display with the ball. Felt like they'd had a really tough time with the batter at the halfway stage. 146 did not feel like enough. Local sages here. Russell Arnold, he thought 165 you need, surely. But it's turned out that it's 51 more needed than England actually did need, which is extraordinary, really. 3 wickets for Jackson, 2 for Dawson, 2 for Archer, 2 for Rashid, 1 for Overton. They haven't had to use all their spinners. And, well, they go top of the group. They've had a haltering, stuttering campaign, but they've come alive with a bang today. I'm Daniel Norcross. Alongside me is Alex Hartley, World Cup winner, as we look back on the first match of England's Super 8s here at Palakelly, and a dominant win by England in the end. And I don't quite know how it's happened. They've actually thrashed Sri Lanka, the co-hosts, by 51 runs. Sri Lanka were never in the chase, but the chase was a modest one of 147 here at Palakelly, where we've seen some pretty good batting conditions. We've seen the likes of Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh crunch it all past. We've seen Patton Nissanka hit an unbeaten 100 in one of the most important and consequential matches of the tournament. But today, Alex Hartley, this was a very, very different kind of pitch.
It really was. It really was. Well, I think it was. I still don't know. I still don't know about the pitch. It was obvious. There's obviously something in it because England struggled. They only got 146. Sri Lanka, who beat Australia here just the other day. They've been bundled out for the lowest score of the tournament so far, 95. So there has to have been something in the pitch. But then when you were watching Phil Salt, he made it look really easy. But then so did Mitch Marsh. So did Nisanka the other day. You know, it's been one of those grounds where somebody has got in and somebody has done well. And look, for England, without Phil Salt today, they would have really, really struggled. And Sri Lanka didn't have that Phil Salt in their batting lineup.
No, they didn't. England were put into bat by Sri Lanka, and that was absolutely no surprise because there's been so much rain around here in the Kandy region, well, actually across all of Sri Lanka. We've had over 1.5 times the amount of rain for the whole of February has fallen in just the last 24 hours in various parts around where we are. And so with rain forecast as well, the very real danger of us getting an abbreviated game or a game which will be decided on Duckworth Lewis, that really encouraged Dustin Shanaka to bowl first. Also the fact that they got a recent memory of having hunted down 182 here to beat Australia, which they did with just 2 wickets down. So it was a bit of a blow for England first up, and actually they really struggled. They were told they were going to come out to be fearless. Harry Brook had said that. He wanted them to be fearless, not get out chipping to cover. But Alex, the batting looked a bit timorous to start.
Yeah, timorous is right. It's a bit tentative, a bit all over the place, not quite the aggressive side that we've seen this England side to be in the past. And look, Joss Buttler 7 off 14, he's struggling. He's not in the richest of form. He will come good. It almost looks like he's one cover drive away from being back. You know, but he struggled again today. He wasn't moving his feet. The ball outside the off stump, he kept swinging and missing. Then he went for the reverse sweep and ultimately got out LBW after facing 4 consecutive dot balls. And nobody else really got in. You know, Sam Curran hit a 6, got himself out. Just a strange old day.
I mean, look, Joss Buttler tried to get going, didn't he? But we saw time and again, he was just being defeated by the left arm of Dilshan Madhushankar, who bowled through the power play. He bowled 3 overs from the far end. Bowled 2 overs alongside him. It was one of those kind of days where the bowlers had the wood over the batters. There was no chopping and changing. It wasn't a matter of, you know, 1 over goes for 15, we're going to bring somebody else on, you know. It was that, wasn't it? The bowlers were just on top.
Old school T20 cricket is what it felt like, where you go, okay, let's just hit the bad ball. Well, let's allow a bowler to settle. Every single bowler that bowled today for both teams was allowed to settle into a spell.
There was a bit of panic that started to set in because the runs just weren't coming. England didn't even make it to a run a ball in the power play. Buttler went LBW to Will Allagate, playing a reverse sweep, first ball of an over, palpably out. Jacob Bethel was out for 3. Buttler had made 7, Bethel 3. Then Tom Banton, desperate to get on with it. He was run out, just taking a run on that wasn't there. Great work from Shanaka. And,
no surprises who the player of the match was today. It is Will Jacks for an all-round brilliant performance. It was at 3 for 22. Some very important runs as he receives that medal from the great former England captain and World Cup winner Owen Morgan. Will, I mean, frontline spinner, shall we call you that now? What a brilliant performance with the ball today.
Yeah, we're buzzing with that, obviously. Halfway stage, we were pleased to get up to 145, but obviously knew we were going to have to bowl well and work hard, and we had such a brilliant start in the power play. Joff got us off to a good start, and then we managed to continue taking wickets all the way throughout.
I mean, for all money, we thought 146 wasn't going to be enough on what looked like a good-looking wicket, but a bit slow, stopping a little bit. What about the conditions suited your bowling today?
Yeah, we seem to do well here. We've obviously just come off a series against Sri Lanka here at this ground, so we do know it well. Yeah, with minimum really 12 overs of spin here, that suits us. I think we spin the ball hard, which definitely helps here, and we seem to do well defending, squeezing the game. Rookie's very tight on us, like squeezing, eking every dot out that we possibly can, and we know as a chasing side how hard it makes it.
More and more responsibility with the ball as well. You're bowling in the power play now, you're bowling through those crucial middle overs. How are you feeling about your game as well, because you're contributing in all facets? Yeah,
I love getting that responsibility with the ball. I think it encourages me to get into the game and perform better. I think I like that responsibility, and bowling in the power play is something I've done a lot of, so it's not foreign to me, and when we get on the surface like that, I come into the game knowing what I need to do.
bit of a up and down tournament for England so far, getting the wins when it matters though, but that was such an emphatic performance. What was the word in the team room ahead of this one must-win encounter rather coming into the Super 8s?
Well, yeah, like you said, we've
catch it.
Importantly, we've been winning those games. And I think it's quite relieving in a way to get through that stage where you're expected to win.
Yes,
coming back here and against the better teams in a way, you
fast
go out there and play your way, and that's something we've done today. Played with freedom, and it's just about trusting our own game. We know we're good enough, and we know if we play with that freedom and that unity that more often than not we'll be in the right position.
And sticking with that same side as well, no matter the conditions, wonderful to see it working so well for you in Sri Lanka today. Congratulations on another wonderful performance, and best of luck for the next one.
Thank you.
That was Will Jacks referencing freedom a lot, and what we were talking about just before we got that interview was actually it looked like England weren't playing with a lot of freedom, but the pitch must have made so much of a difference. Today I've been given a stat from Hypercourse. 7 is the most number of wickets taken by England spinners in the men's T20 international, behind the 9 they took here in the third match of the 3-match series they played before this World Cup started. So it's spin to win here at Pallekele, and England know to do that. So did Sri Lanka, for that matter, because Walalage took 3 for 26. Mahith Tikshana bowled superbly, 2 for 21. Dushmantha Chameera, the quick bowler, was very good at the back end, but the reference there to important runs from Will Jacks, because one of the strange features of England today was that their highest entire innings was just 26, but they had 8 further partnerships between 11 and 19. People were getting in, but they just weren't able to keep going. Were they trying to get a bigger score than actually turned out to be needed? Do you think there was a certain kind of like, oh, we've got to try and get 160, and that was stopping them get to 155 sort of thing?
I mean, it turns out they didn't need a bigger score, but even Will Jacks said at the halfway stage we knew we would have had to bowl well. So, and they did, they bowled fantastically well. The wicket was turning, there was a bit in it, but even on a turning surface, you would expect this England side, when you look down and the quality of the players that you've got, you would have expected them to have been a little bit more settled than they were out there in the middle.
Yeah, and all the while, and you referenced it earlier, it was Phil Salt, 62 from 40. He looked a spot of bother out there at times. He's looking a bit lacking in puff. Did quite a few twos, but he's a very fit man.
He was out there fielding though, wasn't he?
He was out there fielding.
I did think maybe we won't see him again if he's picked up a little tummy bug or a dodgy burger or something at the hotel. But no, he was okay. Maybe he was just out of puff.
He struck 6 4s and 2 6s, and another intriguing feature was that for a long time he was the only person who'd hit a boundary. Harry Brook came in and got A4, made a 7-ball 14 before he was out very tentatively actually to Walalage, just properly on the front foot, the ball striking him on the shin, reviewed but shown to be out. Sam Curran hit a 6, but he was out caught in the deep trying to repeat the trick. Jamie Overton hit A4. Other than that, it was only Will Jacks with 4 4s in his 14-ball 21 that could find the boundaries. And that was a sort of feature of today, that it was just not coming on in the way that it has done, which was a bit of a surprise. So the halfway stage, England were 146 for 9. We thought, right, we're actually sort of doing things like, well, if England were to win the next 2 games, it wouldn't matter that they'd lost this, they would automatically go through because the first game was rained off. Well, what a sensational start, an extraordinary start after a relatively quiet 2.5 overs. Sri Lanka were 15 without loss after 3, and suddenly wickets just rained down. So they'd survived 15 balls of the power play without losing a wicket. By the 35th ball of the power play, they'd lost 5 for the addition of a further 19 runs, and some of them, Alex, were excellent bowling, good fast bowling from Archer, good bowling from Jacks, but some of them were horror show wickets, weren't they?
They really, really were. I mean, you can't lose 5 wickets in the power play, can you? And you're never going to win a game from there. It's going to take something remarkable and something outstanding to do so. They were poor, Sri Lanka. They allowed England to settle. They allowed England to bowl at them. The one wicket that sums up the performance from Sri Lanka was Hemantha hit-wicket. That was just... how on earth has that happened? And you go, okay, it's been a really, really bad day for them. They've been bundled out for 95. If you could sum it up in one day, one bloke hit his own stumps.
Yeah, and it's quite a rarity, isn't it, I believe, in T20 World Cups. David Oboya for Kenya against New Zealand did it. Nasan Ahmed, Bangladesh against South Africa, and Hardik Pandya India against England are the only other instances in a T20 World Cup. So yeah, that was emblematic of what they did, but perhaps the most heinous of all the shots was when Pavan Ratnayake walked to the wicket with the score at 20 for 2, I beg your pardon, when he walked out to bat. Kusal Mendisson got out, Nisankar got out. Two crucial players, the two that have been part of that massive partnership that got Sri Lanka over the line. The crowd had been silenced. Pavan Ratnayake has had a really good start to his T20 career, and he just hurled himself at Will Jacks with gay abandon and hit it straight up the chimney and was easily caught by Banton for a first baller. Jacks was on a hat-trick. England couldn't believe their luck, and at that point you kind of thought, hang on, this is not going to go the way we were anticipating.
No.
Catch.
I don't know what happened to Sri Lanka. Did them beating Australia, has everyone got a little bit giddy? Have they got a little bit giddy? They've been brought back down to earth. Cricket's a real leveller, isn't it? They say the mother of cricket will get you, and she absolutely does. Cricket is one of those sports where you can have the highest of highs, like they have done against Australia, knocking them out of the tournament, and then you can have the lowest of lows, being bundled out for the lowest score of the tournament just a few days later.
You just got to be realistic. It's only Australia. They're up against England next, and that was a different proposition altogether, as it turned out.
Sri Lankan captain is alongside you. How do you reflect on that disappointing result for you and your team?
It's very disappointing, but at the same time we had a lot of positives with the ball. So I think we kept them to a score which is 20 runs less, and I expected my players to bat well.
It was a very low-scoring game. How do you explain that? Was it pitch? Was it bad batting? Was it good bowling, or a combination of all those things?
Yeah, a combination of all the things. I think the pitch played well. Certainly, it was a bit slow side at the first inning, but with the lights on, it settled a bit. Which is we played badly. It affect our batting. So all the bowlers in our side bowl well, and it's not that they bowl really well. We played some rash shot in critical intervals.
Let's talk about the good things first of all. Your bowling, you've got a wonderfully varied attack. That must be a nice attack to captain, given all the different options at your disposal.
Absolutely. So in this World Cup, we tried with 5 main bowlers. Including all-rounders. So it is a nice attack to have. So which I can restrict most of the sides to lower scores.
And what were the instructions going out to chase 146, 147? Because you lost 5 wickets in the opening power play. It's hard to come back from that.
Yeah, the discussion was there to take it deep. So as you know, played a lot of cricket in these sort of wickets. It's about taking it deep and taking the positive options. Catch. So we didn't took. So eventually it's one bad game. So which is not affordable in a World Cup. But we need to bounce back in the next couple of games.
Absolutely right. I mean, do you have confidence that you can do that now, given the way your batting performed here?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's a one bad game. The batsmen, the top order, they have done really well in recent past. So I'm pretty sure that they will do well in the upcoming games.
Okay, we're looking forward to watching you play the next 2. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Harry Brook, England's captain. Nice birthday present for you to win this opening game of the Super 8.
Yeah, beautiful birthday present. I thought we played exceptionally there, and to get over the line and bowl them out for less than 100 was an awesome effort.
I asked Assen about the fact it was a low-scoring game and how to explain that. How would you look at the scores there and explain why it was so low-scoring?
I didn't think there was really any demons in the pitch. I think the spinners on both sides used the pace really well, and that's what brought a lot of wickets, really. Caught and bowled, and lack of pace was creating chances. So we had a good chat about that before going out, and we adapted to the surface really well.
We'll come on to the good stuff with the ball. But given that you felt there were no demons in the pitch, were you disappointed with the batting performance?
It was just slow. It was hard to time, and I thought Salty played an exceptional innings there to get 60. With everybody tumbling around him as well. Not the fluent Phil Salt that everybody knows, but he's managed to get us to a very good score there, and a couple of partnerships at the end as well. It was a hell of a
catch miss பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கறேன். ரெண்டு catch விட்டேன் அதோட.
He's a powerhouse of world cricket. He has been for many years. He's arguably the best white ball player to have ever played the game. He's just lacking a little bit of confidence at the minute, I'd rather him start the competition like this and finish with a flourish. So looking forward and really excited to see how he goes in the next couple of games.
Will Jacks is having an exceptional tournament.
Okay,
you
last
gave
over.
him the new ball today. Just explain the theory behind that.
Well, the spin worked for them guys, and yeah, we've played a lot of cricket here in the last few weeks, and we knew that he was going to play a big part today. And Jaxie was pretty annoyed with the way he got out, so he said to me he always bowls better when he's angry, and thankfully he got us off to a cracking start.
And you said that the change of pace was critical today, given that the pitch was quite slow and holding a touch.
Yeah, and I had a chat with the spinners as well, and we were like, we don't really need to vary our lines, it's more of our paces, and as we saw, we got rewards for that as well with a few caught and bowls, like I said, and a couple of catches out on the boundary, but yeah, it was perfect adaptation to the surface.
Do you think your team is better set up for Super 8 games here in Sri Lanka, given the surfaces are likely to turn a bit more than perhaps in India, and given the balance of your team?
Not really. I feel like we can play on any surface. Like you said, Joss hasn't fired yet, but when he does fire and he gets on a very good wicket, he's going to get 100 and blitz the team away. And same with Salty as well. He's got 60 today, but like I said, it's not the flourishing Salty that we know. And once we can figure that power play out and get on top of them with the bat, then we're going to be a very hard team to beat.
Thanks for your time. Well done.
Thank you.
That's a very, very well-spoken Harry Brook there, I thought. Very fluent, very articulate, and he spoke very well about Jos Buttler, saying, yep, not a concern about his form, he's too good a player, I'd rather have him come good at the back end of the tournament. It's easier to say in a win. For those of the rest of us watching on, this tournament's now 5 games in England have played, and Jos Buttler hasn't looked in any kind of form today, and he didn't at all. All sorts of 6s and 7s. The only thing is, to judge him on a wicket like that, I'm still slightly confused. The one thing that Harry Brook there saying, well, didn't think there was anything wrong with the pitch, but
it was quite slow.
Really slow. And look, there must have been something wrong with the pitch, because England have got a powerhouse batting lineup. They've got 146.
Next we go to next match.
No mugs with the bat. Got 181 here the other day
India
against
versus
Australia.
South Africa.
And they bowled out for 95. So there must have been something in there. He said got the spinners to vary the pace, not the lines and lengths.
Yeah, I think so. Attacking the stumps, vary your pace worked for both spin and seam. A little bit tacky potentially. We've had so much rain, it's been covered, and when they're covered here, they are covered, aren't they? The whole ground's covered, so there is no breathing room at all. So maybe a little bit tacky, but still a surface you would expect England to dominate on. With the bat, sorry.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? And it didn't quite happen, and it's been part of a feature of their World Cup. Throwing it away. But this is a dangerous Sri Lankan side who came hard at England, and they got more boundaries in the power play. They were more aggressive. They were finding those boundaries more frequently than England were, and the bowlers didn't buckle, and particularly Will Jacks at top of the bowling lineup to bowl 3 overs in the power play, bowled 4 on the spin, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive bonus if you're Harry Brook, but to get 3 for 22 bowling in the power play and the overall, it's fantastic.
As a batting all-rounder as well, so made me laugh there. Harry Brook saying Will Jacks says he's a better bowler when he's angry. Well, he's going to have to be angry every single time he has the ball in his hand now, because he's bowled superbly well today. He got away with a couple of deliveries, short, wide, outside the off stump, but you can't blame him for that.
Adil Rashid, Liam Dawson were very
ground
supports, but Jofra Archer with the new ball, we've got to have some mentions for him, because today has been largely about spinners. But Jofra Archer.
See his celebration, by the way, it looked like he was doing Steve Smith. Do you remember in the Ashes when he gave it the C?
Yeah.
Or the I don't know how else to describe what I'm doing here.
Half a circle.
Yeah, half a circle, semicircle.
Like. Yeah.
Jofra Archer started doing it today. Is that a little nudge to Australia being kicked out, do you reckon?
Well, I wonder. I mean, England had precious little to celebrate during the Ashes. I suppose you take what you can when you get it. And today he bowled well, didn't he? He made those crucial incisions earlier, Nisanka and Kamil Mashara. With good bowling, good fiery, fast bowling.
Yeah, well, he's gone for 20. He's taken two wickets. He's only gone for 20 runs in his 3 overs. One of his overs went for 13. So he bowled fantastically well. That over that went for 13, there was one good shot off the stumps, and it angered him. You could see that he was a bit irked by it. And then the next one was down leg side. Then he was a slower ball down the leg side, and he went for a couple of extra boundaries there. But yeah, no, he bowled fantastically well and with real control.
Jamie Overton was the other seamer used, 2 overs, 1 for 13. He was the one who got the curious wicket, the hit wicket, which summed up Sri Lanka's day, really. He went to pull the ball and did Hamantha, and he went all the way around and just tapped the top of the stumps with the face of his bat. It was a very rare dismissal to see. It means that Sam Curran wasn't required. I mean, those 4 overs from Will Jack's something of a bonus, and while England wait for Jacob Bethel to be fully bowling
South Africa won the toss.
If he does get to be fully
choose to
bowling
batting
before they finish their last game here, they will have
India first bowling.
Strong spin options to go with Jofra Archer and then Overton and Sam Curran. How quickly we go from saying, well, England have stuttered and spluttered their way into the tournament to going, oh, they could be a real powerhouse in Sri Lanka in this group.
Yeah, I think they can be anyway. I really do. I think when you're one of the best teams in the world, they're finding ways to win, which I think is a dangerous place to be as a team, or a great place to be as a team, because you're finding ways to get over the line. And you know, teams that win tournaments do find ways of winning. You get that winning momentum behind you, and you sort of find ways of winning games you necessarily shouldn't. So today, England should have been a lot closer. It should have been a lot closer. Should have got more on the board. Sri Lanka are so much better than they batted today, but they found a way to win. I think when they found a way to win their group game, and then they're going to have, pick up that momentum leading into the later stages. I was going to say a phrase I keep getting told off for saying, so I got
the knockout stages, semi-finals, whatever we want. Right. Word on Adil Rashid. He hasn't had the best tournament, but he's a stellar bowler. He's now the 4th equal leading wicket taker in T20 internationals. He's only a couple of wickets behind 3rd place. He's getting on, don't get me wrong. What is he now? 38 years old.
Could be his last World Cup.
Could
be.
I don't know. I don't think he should be. No. I mean,
no, it shouldn't be. There's no one else better than him.
He's evergreen. He doesn't play red ball cricket.
No.
He looks perfectly fine to me. But he hasn't had the best tournament on those Indian pitches where it was really flat and postage stamp outfields and getting
any changes to Nicky's score?
Needs a bit of confidence.
Match start
today I'll give him that.
Won't it?
Yeah, he's only gone for 13 runs. So yes, he's picked up wickets, but he's picked up wickets throughout the competition. He's just gone at 10s, which is so unlike him. So the fact that he's been able to, I guess, just bowl straight, mix up his pace, not go for many runs, will obviously give him a little bit more confidence. And these services do suit him. And the bigger outfields, when you go back to Colombo as well, massive outfield at the Pramadasa.
Yeah, well, it's important you should mention that, because England have got 2 matches left. If they were to win one of them, by my calculations, they will be through, because they would get to 4 points, and New Zealand would, or Pakistan wouldn't be able to get anywhere near that. Sri Lanka could get to 4 points if they win their last 2. But if they did get to 4 points, they would necessarily have to take points off New Zealand and Pakistan. So if England get to 4, with 2 sides having got 1 point, there's no way that 2 sides can get 2 other sides can get 4. That's basically how it works.
They play the strongest team in this group last. And for me, they're the strongest team. So they've got a real opportunity to cement the next stage in the next game.
Before I give you all the scenarios for that, this is his first. He's been around Team World Cups. It's the first time he's been able to get out there and play an active role. And now he's going to be relishing it, isn't he? In 2 days' time, he gets to play against Pakistan on a surface. It could be totally different. It could be. I mean, and it's a 7 o'clock game. So but he'll be thinking, oh, this is nice. At last, at my age, I'm 35 years old, finally getting the opportunity.
He's young.
Young. Finally getting the opportunity. Being carried in the drinks, doing all that. It's a lovely story, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I love to see him out there in the middle and doing well. He's been in and out of England teams, and it's just nice to see him out there and performing on the stage.
Now then, we've talked about bowlers, but there's been one batter who's stood up head and shoulders above all the other batters today from both sides, and Atif Nawaz has been down talking to Phil Salt.
I've got Phil Salt alongside me right now. Phil, terrific win for the side. What's the mood like in the camp?
Yeah, obviously pretty buoyant after a win like that. Part of our World Cup prep was coming out here and playing them in a bilateral series, and we won a very similar game to that, on the same ground. So we had a lot of confidence going in, and yeah, it just sort of reaffirms that belief, I suppose, that we come in from anywhere.
Halfway through, when you put that total on the board, did it feel below par, or did you feel quite confident you could defend it?
I felt pretty confident at the time because I'd spent a bit of time out there, and it wasn't the easiest wicket, to play on. But quietly confident. That they've got some good players in their side, and probably most important to sort of cut the head off the snake with Nissanka and Kusal Mendis, and we did that and just kept the momentum, kept the aggressive mentality, and paid off for us.
How did you find conditions here in Pallekele?
Very different, I'd say. You can play one wicket over, and it could be something that you play on in England. And then you come today and it's low. It spins a bit, it's holding, it's quite inconsistent. So it's a whole range of conditions that you can get here.
You must be pleased with your own form. Terrific knock today here in difficult conditions.
Yeah, really pleased with it. Just about helping the team. You get into these stages of tournaments and you want to be the person putting the hand up and so yeah.
You guys have managed to get a game happen today as well. The forecast was a little bit iffy. Yesterday, New Zealand, Pakistan was rained out. You have Pakistan next on Tuesday. Points on the board, top of the table to start with. What's the feeling like at the moment with the team going forward?
We know we've got to win our next game, next couple of games. I don't think we're going to be doing backflips, going, we've done it, because we haven't. We've got, more important games in this tournament, and that's the nature of tournament cricket. The most important game is the next game at this point, so just looking forward.
And how are you doing? Because you looked like you were cramping a little bit when you were batting, but you were obviously throwing yourself around the field, so I figured you were okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't cramping. I've just had a bit of a chest thing. You can probably hear it in my voice, and that was the time that the chest decided it was time to come out. Not ideal, but that's what I was dealing with. A few dry heaves, but no, we're good to go.
Well, you batted well nonetheless, and congratulations on the win today.
Thanks very much.
I was still salt talking to Atif Nawaz, and he didn't look the best. He had a couple of twos he had to run, one after the other out, and then he was down in his haunches. And
it all makes sense now, doesn't it?
I was not sure quite why he fielded, but I suppose it's good that he did. And England are going to need him, because so far in that top order it's just not firing. A few half centuries really to speak of. Today he batted really well on difficult surface. I mean, there was 1-6 I was really impressed with. And the power play over extra cover early on was a cracking shot. There were a few streaky boundaries, as you need a bit of luck on this surface.
Well, I thought when I saw that 6 that had gone over extra cover in the power play, I thought, whoo, we're on for a monster. How wrong was I?
Indeed. Well, we all were, because we were all sort of thinking a little bit like that. Now then,
no ball put.
Need to talk to you about that. After South Africa and India today, let's look forward to England's schedule, if you like. England play Pakistan next in 2 days' time. That's at 1:30 p.m. UK time. And it's a really important game for both sides, because if England can win it, then it really won't matter what they do against New Zealand particularly. They will be through to the semi-finals. I suppose it matters in the sense that sides will want to avoid India. India are likely to win.
Being in India, or
well, they have to be in India.
Yeah.
So there's no choice. Whoever gets through to
Pakistan
will be in India. But it's who you play, I guess. And they'll all say we don't care who we play, but they do a bit, because there's a chance India might get knocked out in the semi-final stage, and they might not have to play them at all. So there is that. And for Pakistan, it's a really significant game, because if they were to lose that game, they'd have 1 point from 2 games, and then would be up against Sri Lanka in their last game. And Sri Lanka play against New Zealand in the next game. If New Zealand were to win that game, then effectively what Pakistan would be needing is for England to do them a favour by beating New Zealand, so that Pakistan could beat Sri Lanka, and then we'd be into net run rate, which is one of our favourite things. So England, Pakistan here, who looks the stronger side from what you've seen of this surface today?
That is a very, very good question. I want to say England, but the Pakistan spin bowlers might get through England, if that makes sense. If the wicket's very similar to what we've had today, I sort of think maybe Pakistan. I just don't see Pakistan with the bat. I see England being able to have a good day with the bat on a surface like that, but I'm not overly sure, overly confident. And look, Pakistan have got the batters that just, they've been a bit like Josh Butler, they've just not been in form, they've just not scored runs, and they are capable of, like Usman Khan, for example, he keeps sliding down the order, but he's got, you know, hundreds in the PSL opening the batting, so he's a very capable batter. I just have more confidence in England's batting line-up on that surface.
I mean, let's be clear, what we're talking about is a group where 4 teams have had a flawed World Cup, because they've all finished second in their group. Whereas the other group, the group that's in India, every single one won their games. They were unbeaten. Zimbabwe had a rain-off, but other than that, they're all unbeaten. And so I guess we're all kind of looking at this going, anybody could beat anybody on their day. Why do you say that for you, New Zealand is the strongest team in this group?
I just think they look like a proper unit. They've got a really nice balanced squad. I think they've got Tim Seifert and Finn Allen at the top of the order that are just, they make a bowling attack scared, you know, the way that they play cricket. Yes, they can get out early, but then you've got Daryl Mitchell coming in the middle. You know, he's been in a rich form for a long period of time. He's so consistent. And then with the ball, Lockie Ferguson being back, taking wickets as well. He's now back in the country after the birth of his child, his first child. So I just think for me, in this group, they look like the best side.
I can see that. The one thing I would say is, just on the spin bowling front, I wonder, just they do have to play here at some point.
It's only for the first time in the competition. He's been sat on the bench, hasn't he?
And he is one of the leading T20 wicket takers in international cricket. He has got slightly more than Adil Rashid. So it's they're vying for position there up near the very, very top. It's time for us, though, to move on. We have had a sensational start to England's campaign in the Super 8s. They've come from what looked like a position of hopelessness, in the end, to thrash the co-host Sri Lanka. Now we can take you across to Ahmedabad for India against South Africa, and we can join Henry Moran.
Slower ball,
Thank you very much, Daniel. All the details of that England victory in Sri Lanka available on the BBC Sport website and app, including the highlights and everything else you might want besides. But here at the cavernous, the magnificent, the mighty stadium in Ahmedabad, a few spare seats, not many of them. Pretty much every one of these orange and yellow seats taken up by India supporters wearing those familiar replica blue jerseys for a match that is a repeat of the 2024 final, played in Barbados and won by India so memorably. Tight game, small venue, very different surroundings here. Many people say this will be the final. We will have to wait and see. But what I can tell you is that we've had the toss, and it was hosted the two captains alongside the inimitable Ravi Shastri.
It's a nice, pleasant evening here in Ahmedabad, and atmosphere at the gigantic Narendra Modi Stadium already electrifying. And the match coming up is a massive Super 8 clash. It's between the defending champions India and runners-up in the last World Cup 2024 South Africa. And as we come up to toss time here in Ahmedabad, for the Blues, it's Surya Kumar Yadav. For the men in yellow and green, it's last ending now. 2 over, next bowler and Hyundai toss will present the coin to Ranjan, who in turn will give it to Surya, who will give it a flick. Up she goes. Tails is the call. Well, Aiden, you won the toss. What have you decided?
Yeah, looks a really good wicket. A lot drier than the previous ones we've come across here, so not expecting that tackiness at the start. So we think it's going to be a good wicket throughout, and hopefully we can put a nice big score on the board.
Happy with the form so far? You played some really good cricket?
Yeah, the boys are looking in good touch. And in a confident mind space, so by no means taking that for granted, but it's a good place to be at the moment, and the boys have been putting in a lot of work behind the scenes to try and maintain it.
You know this ground as well as anyone else amongst the other teams. You played a lot of cricket here. Last time a match played here, 236 played 210, so you know the surface.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to play a couple of games here, different wickets though. This obviously been the black soil, but generally high scoring ground. It's a training game of cricket, so I suppose that's obviously what you look forward to. It's what you want to be a part of, and hopefully tonight it's no different.
Well, it's the business end of the tournament. What's your combination for today's game?
Yeah, from the previous game we've made 4 changes back to the usual 11, so Kesh comes back in, Lungi comes back in, Marco and Dave come back in as well.
Have a good one, Ed. Would you have batted first, Surya?
We were also actually looking to bat first, but it's okay. We played here 2-3 days back. When they were bowling first, there was a little bit in the wicket, so why not take that advantage?
This is a proper matchup, isn't it? India-South Africa.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a big game, good occasion for everyone to come up, show their characters. Full house tonight, hopefully, and we have some game for them.
It's a test now. This is the business end.
You've got to get your A game.
Powerplay.
Absolutely. I mean, we do have 3 league games, but you have to be giving that punch from ball 1, and I think it's tonight. We have good energy on the field. Follow those good habits, and we'll take the result, whatever comes our way.
You see this pitch any different from the previous game you played on a black soil surface?
It looks quite similar, just one strip away, not too much change, but yeah, it's okay. We're happy to bowl first.
And what's your side for today's?
Very, very harsh on Akshar Patel, but still we're going with the same team. It's just a tactical change, so no changes from the last game.
Have a good one, Surya.
Cheers.
So that's the news from the centre. It's South Africa who won the toss, and they've decided to bat first.
Oh, thanks to Ravi Shastri alongside the 2 captains out there in the middle. Let me go through those 2 sides then. India with Ishan Kishan and Abhishek Sharma, who's had 3 ducks in the tournament so far. Tilak Varma, Surya Kumar Yadav is the captain, which is heard from him. Hardik Pandya, Shivam Dubey, Rinku Singh, Washington Sundar, Arshdeep Singh, Varun Chakravarti and Jasprit Bumrah. For South Africa, Aidan Markram is the captain. Quinton de Kock opens the batting. Ryan Rickleton, Devold Brevis, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Marco Janssen, Corbin Bosch, Kagisa Rabada, Keshav Maharaj, Lungi Ngidi. So that is how the sides line up, and our side lines up with, alongside me, I'm very pleased to say, Prakash Wakanka. Very nice to see you, Prakash. It feels a big on this.
Yes. I think it's it's one of those occasions here at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Probably not as full as I would have expected it to be. Maybe it will fill up as the evening progresses. But what a game we have. A really good prospect. It's a tight game. Both sides really, really well balanced. And I look at that South Africa side and I say to myself, it is in many ways, from a balance perspective, the perfect balance. You've got some really big hitters. You've got people who can build. You've got real quick bowling, variety of the spin, and I think it's got all the promise of being an absolute nail-biter. South Africa, remember, have played the one game which was the closest of the tournament when that 3rd super over seemed likely, and they just managed to beat Afghanistan. India, on the other hand, I'd say have been subpar, but they've managed to do just enough to win their games as well. So all set for a really, really good game. The flags being just brought out by the volunteers, and what a wonderful job they do.
Prakash, where's this game going to be won and lost? That's the question I want answered, because we know it's a huge game, but where's it won and lost?
I think it's going to be won and lost in the power plays on both sides. That's where it will be, because I think if South Africa really run away with it at the top, which is what their captain Markram said when he won the toss, chose to bat, he said, we'd like to get in there. Looks like a good wicket, different from what he thought surfaced than they played last time, and he would want to put up a big total. If that happens, I think, Henry, that's where the game's going to be won and lost. It's going to be Bumrah and Arshdeep versus Markram and de Kock. De Kock has not quite fired. He's somebody who loves playing in and against India, and both of them, of course, know these conditions very well, because this is an IPL ground that they've both played a lot of cricket.
It's a spectacular venue, this, Prakash, isn't it? And you know, sometimes you get the beauty of a ground like Newlands with its backdrop, you get the history of Lords, and sometimes you get, like, perhaps the MCG or here, just the scale of the place. It's extraordinary.
It is, and yet here, there's nothing, there's no nature, there isn't sort of the heaving sense that you get in a Colosseum like the MCG, but in its own way, the colors, the seats, the gigantic size, the gangways at each level, it really is a behemoth of a stadium, and when it's throbbing, it's a living animal and a really big one.
It's huge, 130,000 seats. They say it's one of those where it's a little bit disputed whether that's the case when...
That depends when we count the cops or not.
The site's green as well, I know, well indeed. And you never quite know how many are in, but you know that it's an awful, awful lot. And it's only 2 tiers as well. It's just they bank so far back and it's just such a scale. Right, here come the 2 sides. Between the sparklers that have become so familiar, swirling away in the distance, and the 2 sides with the yellow and green of South Africa, the blue familiar, of course, of India. We're not far from time for the anthems, and 2 sides that have more than realistic ambitions of winning this title. I would argue the 2 favourites for the tournament, with India outstanding, immaculate in the group stage, as was South Africa. And this promises to be such a special occasion. Right, time for the anthems. Standing all around this venue, India and a few South Africa supporters. Not many, a few. I think we know where the dominance in terms of fan base lies at the moment.
Woo! Every ball moves. Ayyo, oh, out. Spare கொடுக்க மாட்டான். Review போமா? Okay, we go to review. சுத்தமா அவன் பேட்ல படல. நான் வெளிய போயிருக்குமா பால் இல்ல வெளிய போட்டேன் பால் பிட்ச் ஆகி லெஃப்ட் போகும் பால். இல்லையே இம்பாக்ட் அவுட் சைடு. விக்கெட் ஸ்கிட்டிங். Impact outside
And here now the national anthem of India. Big smile on the face of Surya Kumar Yadav, the India captain. What a proud moment for him in front of this enormous crowd, and it really is a big one. As they begin to take their seats, as a rumble of thunder almost goes around. Plastic seats swinging downwards, spectators that'll be leaping all over the place, you'd imagine, if India go well. But first, they've got to watch South Africa having a bat. A South Africa side back to their familiar 11, 4 changes today. And in the commentary box alongside me, very pleased to say, South African broadcaster and journalist, lovely to see you as always, and what an occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited for this one, potentially the final before the final, and definitely a repeat of the last final. I wasn't there, I was watching at home from Cape Town, and the reverberations of losing in the way South Africa did were felt for many months to come. But we've washed that all away. We were at Lords when South Africa lifted the World Test Championship mace, and I think there's a sense that this is a champion team brewing.
It certainly is, and they just seem to have a steely, as do India, I would say, having got over their own ICC little, not a hoodoo, then certainly a little bit of a sense of struggling to get over the line. But they've done that now twice since then, with the Champions Trophy success a year ago as well. And those spectators that have piled into this ground, still Virat Kohli shirts outnumbering every other shirt, it has to be said, but a few Surya Kumars, there's the odd Dhoni down there too, Hardik Pandya. Of course, the Virat Kohli generation in T20 cricket has moved on. It is now down to this new breed of players. And as the South African openers come to the middle, there is a very familiar face in the form of Quinton de Kock, a diminutive left-hander who's done it all, seen it all, played it all in IPL cricket, and alongside Aiden Markram, the South African captain. It's a powerhouse opening pair.
It is, and I did see one Aiden Markram shirt for sale.
Did you?
I don't know if anyone picked it up. But hopefully we'll see one there. South Africa's whole batting lineup is pretty strong, and I think what you've said around Markram and de Kock is that they've got a top two, a top three who are really in form, with Ryan Rickleton coming in next. Markram has already scored more runs in this tournament than he did in the whole of the 2024 edition. He's reached his highest score of 86. He's done that twice this year. And de Kock looks like a man transformed after coming back to the South African side from a sabbatical. He's striking at higher than ever before, over 170. So there's lots of power in the South African lineup.
They ease through the group stage. Both these sides, wins over Pakistan, Namibia, USA and the Netherlands for India. And South Africa beating New Zealand, Afghanistan, the UAE and Canada. Matches perhaps with the exception of the Pakistan and New Zealand victories for the sides respectively you would have thought they'd get, but they did. And we're going to see Arshdeep Singh having a bowl. I've just seen Hardik Pandya do something very sensible, which is a big hug for the umpire, Richard Kettleborough. You know, he knows which side his bread's buttered, doesn't he?
I thought you were talking about his squatting to warm up.
Well, he's doing some extraordinary squatting, fielding at mid-off. And we're ready to go. I'm pleased to say Arshdeep Singh, who is a threat, left arm seam, shirt untucked. And as the crowd get revved up, not that they need it, let's be perfectly honest. The countdown that'll come, the inevitable slight pause you get before things really ramp up into that first ball as television companies and broadcast streams the world over tune in to this well, fairly hefty bit of acreage, it has to be said, in northwest India. The venue potentially for the final. And here comes Arshdeep Singh. We're up and running, we're ready to go. Arshdeep is in, bowls. This is angled away, down towards a deep third for a single. And the score stands at 1 without loss. So, Firdous, what have you made of South Africa's tournament so far? It's been immaculate.
It has, except for that double super over against Afghanistan. I mean, that was a game that they...
Oh, yeah, but that was just sort of, as Prakash said at the time to me privately, he said, well, they've done that now, they've won the tournament, they've got over the little nervy part, they've got the practicing of the high stress.
Yeah, I think we felt that way. I mean, it was a game that they could have and probably should have lost twice. Once when Kagiso Rabada overstepped at the start of the final over, and then again in the first super over, which ended up being tied, and potentially even in the second super over. Rahmanullah Gurbaz had 6 runs to win off the final ball, didn't get there.
Here comes Arshdeep Singh to the left-handed Quinton de Kock, 2 slips in place, the second of which is called into action as the ball is dropped towards him. De Kock, who's never a man who seems overly phased by anything. Is that fair?
Very fair indeed. He spoke to the press yesterday and he was asked about all sorts of things, including what kind of advice he'd give to Abhishek Sharma, the Indian opening batter who's got 3 ducks in a row. And de Kock said, actually, I've got no idea. He's a good player. I'm sure he'll figure it out. So De Kock's always been calm, relaxed, tends to keep his thoughts to himself, but he's taken on a much bigger leadership role in the field, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later when South Africa are in the field.
He waits now. And this is pushed back towards Arshdeep. No run there. The tall left-hander reaches down and picks up off his own bowling. The crowd, a sea of hands above their heads below us, applauding the dot ball.
Well, did you see that? A dot ball applauded as though it's a wicket. I mean, we haven't had an atmosphere like this. There were about 55,000 people in here for South Africa and New Zealand, but the game lacked any tension, really. So this is the best atmosphere I've seen so far. And there was also a good crowd in for Afghanistan, UAE and Delhi. I covered that game. Afghanistan, by that point, pretty much out of the tournament.
Arshdeep kicking up his heels, running in again, and that's nicely angled out square on the offside by De Kock, who will pick up a single to get off the mark. If he missed it earlier, England victorious. I wondered at the halfway stage whether their 146 for 9 might be a little below par, but they bowled out Sri Lanka for just 95. And so a big hefty win for England, who know if they win their next game, they'll be semi-final bound.
It's nice and quick, isn't it?
It is. And the loser of this game, well, it's then jeopardy.
That's what I like about this, is that especially this group with all the group leaders in it.
Arshdeep Singh running into the right-handed Markram, who drops the ball into the ground, wants a single. De Kock is quickly off his mark at the non-striker's end, and he will get through for one. Do you like that, though, because it was predetermined?
Yeah, I don't know if I like the predetermined nature of it, and I suppose if I was to pick the 4 semi-finalists, I'd probably pick the 4 in this group who won all their games. But I quite like that we've got the unpredictability of Zimbabwe in this group. I think they could still surprise a couple of teams. I've covered them for a long time, and I don't think anybody saw this coming, really. And I also like that we've got the 2 strongest teams potentially in the tournament, South Africa and India, coming up against each other first up.
Arshdeep Singh running in to finish the first over. He's in now. And there's an appeal for LBW, but the umpire taking a step away immediately to the leg side and saying, no, keep calm, everybody. And the South Yorkshire tones of Richard Kettleborough just to say, everyone just take a little bit of a moment. I don't think they'll review it, but it is a very good over, that. 4 from it. From an India point of view, that is. And it is worth remembering these sides met here in a venue, just a couple of months ago, and India scored 231 for 5, so there are runs to be had out there.
Yeah, that series that you mentioned played in December, South Africa resting quite a few players, including Kagiso Rabada, who had a rib injury. In fact, he missed the entire tour of India, didn't play in the test. South Africa won that 2-0, their first series win in India in 25 years. And I think you'll find that South Africa in bilaterals generally haven't done very well because they can't really play a first choice side. It's the nature of cricket, different formats prioritized at different times. So this is their strongest 11.
Well, here comes Jasprit Bumrah from the far end, a match winner in the final in Barbados. Full delivery, which is skewed away past the fielder at backward point. It will now be picked up by Rinku Singh, who's lightning across the oven. Listen to that applause just for a reasonably straightforward piece of fielding, but it's heralded as if he scored the winning runs in the final. I maintain the loudest I've ever heard a sports crowd was the first few overs of the 23 final when Australia were losing wickets.
And then they just go quiet.
Mitch Marsh nicked off, and there was the ball seemingly on a string for Bumrah and Shami, and slowly but surely the decibels faded as the night went on. Seats began appearing. Here comes Bumrah over the wicket to bowl to Markram, who's playing high up on the bat towards mid-on. It'll be fielded by the skipper, Surya Kumar Yadav. And it is 5 without loss. Bumrah, a bearded figure, walks back to the end of his mark and prepares for this familiar equestrian pony-like approach.
Yeah, it's quite something to face. I mean, we've seen some very unusual actions in this tournament so far. Usman Tariq, the big talking point with the balls.
Here comes Bumrah in and inside half of the boundary.
Sariyana spin.
Flashing down towards the boundary. Oh, listen to the crowd. They see Rinku Singh move to his right.
Replay patte avunu the ball.
They are up and cheering it because it is a boundary saved. And Rinku Singh, who looks as though he might have modelled his beard and overall looks slightly on the Kohli. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I can see the kind of
replay.
lines on the beard. There is a little bit of Virat Kohli in him, probably a similar height as well.
He's possibly slightly more muscular. Kohli is a slightly sort of wispier figure.
But he's got the same kind of hairstyle.
He does. Here comes Bumrah, round the wicket to bowl to
slow motion la kamkaran bowling
away through the offside. That'll be 4. First boundary of the innings.
Nice.
And, a player of the quality of Quinton de Kock was never going to miss out on
third
that.
stump
Flashes away through the offside. South Africa with their first boundary of the innings, move the score to 10 without loss.
I think that'll settle some nerves because it was starting to look like a very quiet start from South Africa. So they've played 3 of their 4 group games here, and they're pretty familiar with the venue.
Nice
but all
ball.
those matches were played on either a mixed soil pitch or a red
Right-handed
soil pitch, a little
batter.
bit more bounce and carry in those. This is a black soil surface.
Jasprit Bumrah running in, round the wicket, bowls him!
Wicket.
Gets through
Tika
Quinton de Kock. And that big broad smile of Jasprit Bumrah.
Boom, bro.
Acknowledging yet another set of stumps demolished. How many times have we seen it? And the crowd goes absolutely wild. That noise around Ahmedabad, the drama, the flashing lights, as we see the top of middle leg kissed by a ball that did all sorts. Brilliant bowling from a brilliant bowler, 10 for 1.
And you can see the disappointment on Quinton de Kock's face there. I thought he was just getting going. I was just talking about the slow start South Africa have had. Now this is an interesting phase because South Africa are so reliant on de Kock. They need him not just from an opening batting perspective, but also someone who really calms the nerves. And the person who's coming in at number 3, Ryan Rickleton, wasn't part of South Africa's original squad. He was left out in favour of Tony de Zorzi.
Catch.
A hamstring injury. He sustained that in India, didn't recover in time, and then had to be repaired. Rickleton is usually an opening batter, so the situation will be pretty familiar to him. But I don't know about the situation when there's, what would you say, 90,000 people in, and the opposition's champion bowler's got his tail up. Big test for Rickleton.
Well, Rickleton comes to the middle, one left-hander replacing another. It's hard for anyone to prepare for this sort of environment. You're walking into the ultimate cricketing cauldron, aren't you?
Yeah, precisely. I mean, Rickleton's had a little bit of time in the IPL as part of the Mumbai Indians side.
Final ball.
He is the kind of guy that thrives on these types of situations, likes it when backs are up against the wall and likes it when he's got a point to prove. When he was left out of the squad, he responded by scoring 100 in the opening game of the SA20.
Well, he's a tall figure, left-hander. Here comes Jasprit Bumrah, he's in to bowl. Oh, it's a beauty. Has he found the edge? No. The way that Dishan Kishan moved to his left just told me that maybe there was something on it. Bumrah's hands were aloft, but nothing doing. 6 from the over and the wicket, 10 for 1 is the score. And it's a carnival in Ahmedabad, it really is. What a place.
Yeah, this is definitely the most alive that I've seen it in the 2 weeks that I've been here. I was expecting something like this, was expecting that we'd have an Indian crowd that were right behind their team. I think there might be 7 or 8 South Africans in the crowd. I know that the officials from Cricket South Africa have flown in. We've got the families in for a short while as well.
Arshdeep Singh back into his work with the score at 10 for 1. Third over of the innings. Markram on strike, waits for a ball that is skewed away out towards the fielder in the deeper backward point. 11 for 1 is the South Africa total. I almost think par scores go out of the window a little bit with an atmosphere and a game like this. It feels high stakes, high jeopardy, even though it's a group stage match. It's not knockout cricket, but there just is a feeling about this game, as there has been all along. Every time we knew this was a likely fixture, it's felt huge.
Definitely has. I also think past scores go out the window at a World Cup because generally we've seen lower scores than what we would have expected. I mean, 300 we've come nowhere close.
6-6 அடிக்கிறானுங்க.
Arshdeep Singh runs in once more. Defended by Rickleton, who is eager to set off for a single. Markham was slightly less enthused, but they do get through for one. Well, it's true this, and I remember ahead of the 2019 World Cup.
Varun Chakravarti 4 over முடிஞ்சு குல்தீப் யாதவ் 4 over சக்சர் பண்றாங்க. ஹர்திக் பாண்டியா
pitches tend to be a little bit
சிகம் தௌபே
slower perhaps because the volume of cricket that's played, but yeah, any talk of 300, I'd be very surprised if we saw that from this point on.
Yeah, I don't think we will. And South Africa's coach Shukri Conrad's actually got a theory around why we tend to see lower scores, and he just says it's pressure. It's that the stakes are far higher here than in a bilateral.
Arshdeep Singh over the wicket, defended by Markram into the offside. It goes, and it will bring the score. The midway point in the third over at 12 for 1. It's fair to say advantage India at this stage. They'll be the happier of the two sides. Just seeing a replay of that dismissal. Some seam movement just nipping past the inside edge. Didn't need to be much to at that pace. It was enough to do for the experienced opener. Arshdeep Singh with his long approach, probably close to 20 paces or so. Strides lengthening now, and he's in. Bowls, it's in the air, straight to Hardik Pandya. And it's a second wicket. Pandya did not have to move, waiting at mid-off. And as it lolled gently towards his midriff, he knew, the crowd knew, Markram knew, and India are up and about. 12 for 2 with Markram gone for 4.
I've just been watching Hardik Pandya in the field since just before the first ball was bowled. He's been a live wire, always looking like he's expecting something. It looks like that just came off, I think maybe a little bit of an outside edge from Markram. Definitely didn't get the middle of it. It's such a disappointing end for him because he's been in phenomenal form in the first 3 group games and really looked to lead the South African side in terms of what he could do at the top of the order. So I think he'll be bitterly disappointed with the way that went, given the position South Africa are in, and it also now exposes a middle order that haven't actually had that much time in the middle.
Well, here comes Devol Brevis, powerful player. He's going to have to settle. Nerves will have to be checked a little bit because this is not an easy environment to come into, and it is hard to overstate quite how big this place is. For those you were stuck on the media bus outside the ground for a while, Prakash and I got through the outer gate, but actually we had to do a full lap of the venue, and it was like doing a lap of Silverstone. It took forever. It's not like, you know, it's not like just the stroll underneath the Victorian arches of Lords. This place is huge.
Yeah, I had to conduct an interview on the first day here, and somebody had to drive me around the outfield on a scooter.
Well, you do insist. 12 for 2. Brevis driving. He'll find at least one out towards deep backward point, and the ever-energetic Rinku Singh will pick up. Brevis up and running as we see a replay of that dismissal. Yeah, the bat just turned his hand. And if anything, the only question for Hardik Pandya was hands up, hands down. He lifted his right knee. Actually, in the way that he celebrates sometimes with that sort of slap of the thigh almost.
Like a high knees.
There's an interesting competition going on next door, by the way, which is how many people can possibly fit into the smallest commentary box in the world. Here is Arshdeep. It's smashed away for 6. Rickleton behind square on the leg side. There is a massive blow to take the score for 19 to 19 for 2. It's an absolute monster, that.
It is. It's a shot Rickleton's been working on. We've seen him bring it out a few times at this World Cup. Ryan Rickleton not necessarily known for how hard he can hit the ball or how far he can hit the ball. He's more of a time-based player, but this is a shot that he's just become so good at, and what's great about it is the quick pickup. Picks it up really quickly and then just smashes it. I'd almost say that that's slightly longer boundary.
Well, there aren't many South African fans, and what they've cleverly done, they found the same group, and they've got 2 cameras on them, so when something good happens for South Africa, they're able to alternate the angle and give the impression there might be rather more South African fans in than there are. Jasprit Bumrah is going to bowl the 4th over, as we see David Miller, man that knows his territory well, warming up on the boundary edge. Bumrah running into bowl to develop Brevis. One that swings in towards the pads. It's pushed up towards mid-on and there's no run. I mentioned the small commentary box to our right because when we got here, there was a few people in here, quite a lot of people in here. And now the tiny commentary box to our right, they said they were expecting 25. We're not far from it. It's like one of those competitions, how many people can you fit in a mini?
And not a competition I like to play, I have to say. I'm a little bit claustrophobic.
Brevis. 1 from 2. Waits for Bumrah, who comes galloping in once more. That's nicely pushed up towards mid-on. That'll be a single. Just controlled batting from Brevis, who is just bringing a degree of calm alongside Rickleton there.
Have you seen much of Dewald Brevis, actually? I wanted to ask you whether there's been as much talk about him in parts outside South Africa, as I suppose there's a lot of talk about him here in India, but outside of that, you know, he is got this reputation, Baby AB they used to call him, although he's worked very hard to release that moniker and become DB, I suppose.
Well, you want to be your own player. It's like when everyone said, you know, the next Ian Botham, the next Freddie Flintoff, who'll be the next Ben Stokes, I suppose. Here comes Bumrah to the left-handed Rickleton, taps the ball up towards mid-on. There is no run midway through the 4th over. What have we made of this? It's a solid start between these two.
A really good start for India, and I think there'll be some nerves jangling from a South African perspective. The top 3 have been so good for them, and particularly Quinton de Kock and Aiden Markham, all of whom are now dismissed. De Kock bowled by Bumrah. What a stunning delivery that was.
20 for 2 is the score, midway through the 4th over. Here comes Jasprit Bumrah rushing in, and that comes tailing into 6 up does well to work into space on the leg side, but quick fielding will prevent the run. Bumrah, who is just such an outstanding talent, there's no bowler like him. And only Ravi Chandran Ashwin has taken more wickets in T20 World Cup. 31 wickets in 22 matches, but it's the economy, and it was that day in Barbados when you knew, even though the numbers told you, history told you South Africa were cruising, you knew with those overs left for Bumrah, it was not a done deal, and so it proved. Bumrah in now, bowls nicely, driven through the offside, but what a good stop that is, and Tilak Varma it is who scrambles almost like a toddler in a playpen, running to his left on all 4s, does brilliantly well to stop it. That's a great piece of work.
It looks to me like India are really up for this game. I got a sense from them that they were trying not to put too much emphasis on it, that it's just a group game, as you said earlier. The result perhaps doesn't matter that much because there's 2 more games to come.
Just 1 off the over so far. Final ball of it coming up now as Bumrah underneath the floodlights comes in. Full delivery, chipped in the air, should be a catch. Fielder waiting, does not have to move. Rickleton is out. He's gone for 7. Bumrah with a brilliant over. A leading edge, gently looping its way towards mid-off. And everywhere you look around the Narendra Modi Stadium, those in blue are celebrating. The India flags are flying. And that cluster of heroes in the middle for all of these spectators acknowledge arguably their most important player. The lovely off-cutter did for the batter. And as it spooned its way airily towards Shivam Dubey, there was never any doubt. South Africa, after 4 overs, find themselves at 20 for 3.
Yeah, definitely wasn't expecting this from South African. We knew that the slower balls were having a big impact here in Ahmedabad. We saw that in the group stage, a lot of Lungi and Keely's delivery sticking in the pitch. But that was perfect, an off-cutter from Bumrah. Ryan Rickleton's done a lot of work on making sure he can adapt to the number 3 role. I don't know that he could have done too much different there once he had got that leading edge. And this is massive for South Africa now. They do bat deep. They do have a long batting lineup. They've still got Tristan Stubbs to come. They've got the all-rounders Marco Jansen and Corbin Bosch. But I've almost got shades of what happened when South Africa played Australia at the semi-final in Eden Gardens 2023, and they lost all those wickets really quickly up front, and David Miller came in and scored a century, but it was the least favourite of his centuries because they lost the game.
Varun Chakravarti spin for the first time today. He's had a very good tournament. Picked up a wicket against the USA, 3 apiece against Namibia and the Netherlands, 2 against Pakistan. As a single is taken to start the 5th over, South Africa rocking, 21 for 3.
And this is the matchup everyone was talking about. How will South Africa play against Varun Chakravarti? I think there's a lot of reputational hangover from a South African perspective. How do they approach spin? What can they do against spin? Even though probably in David Miller and Dewald Brevis now at the crease, they've got 2 of their best players of spin.
Such is the dominance for India so far. There's a slip in place, and it beats the outside edge of Miller's bat, wafting at it.
David
Miller, who, in my mind, if ever there is a T20 match taking place anywhere on the planet, I'm surprised if David Miller isn't featuring in it somewhere. He's a very experienced player. He's played all over the IPL, including at the Gujarat Titans, so he knows this ground very well. Chakravarti bowls, nicely driven through the offside. There's a chase on for Varma, who does very well to haul the ball in on a quick outfield, and the crowd love it. Here comes Arshdeep to support. 2 runs taken, a high 5 between the 2 fielders. As Varma runs back, sweeps it
high total 95 runs, 96.
Yeah, there is... it's fair to say,
97
36 years, nearly 37. There is not a T20 league that has not been graced by his presence.
No, he's certainly got around the traps and hasn't played any red ball cricket for South Africa, which I think is what people are disappointed in.
Edge, that'll go down towards the deep 3rd boundary for 4. And they needed that. Just the 3rd time in the innings the ball has gone down to the ropes. And that moves the score to 27 for 3. 2 balls left to the 5th.
And on David Miller's experience, you know, one of the questions we're asking is how many more T20 World Cups could we see him at? I have a suspicion this may be his last.
There's a few players like that for this.
I think so.
Here comes Varun Chakravarti, slip in place. This is chipped in the air over the fielder, but not by much. It's going to be 4 more. You can hear the tinny sound off the bat. It was not one of those you thought, well, there's a 6 straight out of the screws. It sounded awkward. And there was just a moment when you thought that Hardik Pandya might be in position for a 2nd catch of the day. Not to be. Final ball of the over is slashed into the offside, and there will be 1 taken. Will there? No, not quite. End of the over. I'm getting out of the way. Prakash Wakanka will join you after 5 overs for the score, 31 for 3.
South Africa in all sorts of trouble, and the Indian fans here at the Narendra Modi Stadium are absolutely loving it. This atmosphere is electric. I think we were all expecting that it would be intimidating for South Africa. They were expecting it. They toured India late last year, said they got a taste of it, but this is a much spicier taste.
Good evening for those. Not quite the start South Africa would have wanted. 31 for 3 after 5, but it's been a very inspired bowling effort indeed by India. Change of ends for Arshdeep, who's now going to bowl from the members' end, the pavilion end. I'll tell you, I'm seeing a lot of hand waving on the pitch with the Indians. I think they're constantly trying some new things. You get the feeling that 2 or 3 guys are controlling some specific areas. Here's Arshdeep over the wicket. In, and Brevis plays it beautifully. He just guides it through the gap, chase for Rinku Singh. In fact, it's Tilak Varma who does really well. We've seen this 3 or 4 times. The ball's traveling quickly, the fielders are getting it back. It doesn't look as big a playing area as the stadium looks.
No, exactly, and this Indian fielding effort has been superb so far. I think they've saved about 3 boundaries already. and you speak about people taking control. What I'm seeing is a blonde Hardik Pandya, and I do like the new color of his hair, but he seems to be controlling everything. He's jumping about, he's gesturing, he's warming up now.
Yes, and I think what's happening is, so Surya obviously is the captain. The vice captain has been left out, as Surya said, harsh on Akshar Patel, and I think Hardik has sort of stepped into those shoes, whether formally or otherwise. Here's Arshdeep in to Miller. Miller plays it on the onside, thinks of a run, it's not there. Abhishek Sharma does the fielding. What I think they're trying to do is sort of pinpoint accuracy in the field placements, the angles being controlled from Hardik Pandya, of course the wicketkeeper Ishan Kishan playing a role, and I noticed a couple of times Shivam Dubey, who was so ambling across to his position, clearly the signal being given by the skipper, get a move on boy, we need energy on the pitch, and at the moment it seems to be all going India's way, but we know this South African team bats deep, and none better than Brevis, who's keeping Miller company, who's on strike now. Miller Arshdeep bowls and Miller pulls, and it's an overdrive by Abhishek Sharma. The ball will go under him and through to the straightish mid-wicket boundary for a welcome boundary. 4 runs to South Africa and to Miller. That's his 3rd boundary. He's looking good. He's on 14 now of 7. None of the other South African batters really coming to grips.
No, they haven't, not on this black soil pitch, and that's the first real lumps in the field we've seen from India. A little bit of a London Bridge there from Sharma, but you can't fault them either. I wonder if it's a little bit of pressure, because South Africa have been at this venue. They understand the difference between the soils. They knew what they were coming up against.
Let me saw.
Do that. Here's Arshdeep again in bowls, short bouncer, he gets underneath it. And wide signal from square leg, which will be confirmed by umpire Gaffney. And that's one more ball and a run. So South Africa now 37 for 3 in the 6th over. You've been here in Ahmedabad for a while, aren't you?
Yeah, basically live here now. I can give you my home address if you'd like.
Perfect.
I've been here since the beginning.
I hope it's adding to your knowledge and skills of Gujarati.
Yeah, I can say a couple of words. I haven't managed
Kemcho.
to say Kemcho, Majama.
Majama, perfect answer. Certainly the more perfect answer we've seen than some of the early top order from South Africa. Here's Arshdeep bowls and beautifully played. There'll be another blemish in the field there. Suryakumar Yadav this time, 4 more runs. Front of extra cover, lovely shot, just timing there from David Miller. Boy, he loves this ground, he knows this ground, and of course he's timing it beautifully. South Africa need him to carry on for some time now. 10 runs already off this over so far. And 1 more ball to come. Yeah. 2 balls to come actually with the wide.
The best we've seen from South Africa so far, and I'm surprised, we were talking about India's fielding, and now we've had 2 misfields in the space of 3 deliveries.
What they call it? The commentator's curse, is it?
I've been on the whole time and I haven't cursed anyone yet, so it's got to be you.
No, you praised the fielding. Here's Arshdeep now. What can he do with Miller looking really solid? Arshdeep bowls and Miller drives again. This time Suryakumar gets his body behind the ball and make sure that it doesn't pass him. Remains 41 for 3 in the 6th over. The last ball of the power play coming up now, and Miller's on 18 of 9, striking at just exactly 200. And we've had some dignitaries, of course, in the ground today, as we often have. There will be loads of people in the President's box right over the top of the side screen where Miller is facing towards. Here's the last ball of the over from Arshdeep. He comes in bowls, and Miller defends bowler fields of his bowling. That's the power play done. 41 for 3. One of the less explosive South African power plays. They've been striking really well at the top.
Yeah, this is probably the most conservative we've seen them, and they didn't really have a choice. They lost those 3 wickets up front. They lost Quinton de Kock, Jasprit Bumrah bowled him, and that to me would have rocked South Africa a little bit. De Kock's been so important for them. And then Aiden Markram in such good form, just chipping one. And I think, as you say, the bat kind of turned in his hand. He got the outside edge. Ryan Rickleton will be disappointed, but so much riding on this pair now, particularly Dewald Brevis, because we haven't seen the best of him.
No, and he's such a talented batter. We know the power he has. We know you've written a couple of beautiful pieces over the last few months. I happened to read at least one of them, where you talk about his maturity for his age, how he's come through, how he's sorted out his own skill set, and he is somebody who hits the ball without ever appearing in anger, and it travels miles when he hits it.
Yeah, Dewald Brevis is a precocious talent, and he's one of those generational kind of characters that, you know, you're probably going to only get once every 10, 15 years. I do think he was weighed down by all the expectation placed on him after he became the leading run scorer at the 2022 Under-19 World Cup. So thrust into professional cricket very quickly, had to fail, fall over, get back up again. But I really think he's finding himself now. He loves the coach, Shukri Conrad, who was also his coach at Under-19 level. He's starting to no longer call himself Baby AB, which I think is a good thing. He's starting to just find his own identity. And you're right, he can hit the ball so hard. My favorite shot's the no-look 6.
Yes.
When he just hits the ball and doesn't even look.
Well, this no-look business in cricket is something that's catching on. And I'm sure there'll be a fair few examples of that through the rest of the tournament. But just in case you're joining us a bit late, the power play is done. Players are having a well-earned drink, and it's 41 for 3 with the that have been dismissed being the top 3 in the batting order for South Africa. And while Quinton de Kock was looking for a big pull through mid-wicket, was done by a bit of seam movement, was bowled by Bumrah, and then a chipped shot where I think the ball probably just held up a little bit for Aiden Markram, looking to power over long off, played it straight into the hands of Hardik Pandya. And I thought Bumrah deceived Rickleton completely with a slower ball. He just sort of popped it into the hands of Shivam Dube at mid-off. But since then, David Miller's got to 18 with, from memory, 4 boundaries. Yes, 4 fours. It's been really prolific. Brevis, as we were talking, just taking a little bit of time to settle down. He's on 4 or 5, but we know he can explode. So Washington Sundar, some would argue a bit of a surprise selection. I think India just giving him a go to see, because he does have the ability to bowl in the power play. He can bowl in the middle overs. Yet another left-hander. I mean, at this rate, India will have a batting 11, a team of 11 left-handers. They've already got, what, 8, I think, or 6 in the top 8 for sure. And Washington just makes one more. So he's going to bowl to the right-handed Brevis, and we should be looking below us, because that's where the chances are that the ball could easily come with a long on and a long off in place, mind you, a deep mid-wicket, a man deep backward, a square, just backward I'd add, and a sweeper cover, the men on the boundary. Here's Washington Sundar with the first ball of his spell as the standard fielder at 45. That looks to me like might be Tilak Varma. And Bumrah is at the edge of the circle at short third, a little hold up in play. The blonde-haired Hardik Pandya at a more orthodox backward point, and Suryakumar Yadav at short extra. First ball cracked away off the back foot. That'll be 4. I don't think anyone's getting there. Beautifully placed, just made room deep in his crease and whacked it through the offside. Lovely start to the over, just the kind of start South Africa would want after a drinks break.
And there are actually more fans than Henry mentioned wearing those yellow shirts. I've just seen 3 others, not the same 3 from the first time. So I think we've got a total of maybe 10. And they are cheering for South Africa, and they sat all amongst the blue shirts. Must be pretty scary.
I shouldn't think so. I mean, this is friendly territory, I think. Here's Washington bowls and back along the track bowler fields. Yes, out there when those replica shirts, which I don't know, whoever manages the commerce must be really worried, because all of these are, majority of them are replica shirts. There were a fair few South African shirts on sale yesterday in the afternoon outside the stadium. Yes, Washington in again, 4 steps to the crease, goes in, bowls back of a length, worked away nicely, square on, out towards the straightish mid-wicket area. Rinku Singh is really a pocket dynamo in the field. He gets around very quickly, very safe hands, and fields. So now that'll bring the left-handed Miller on strike. He's on 18. A quick word between the batters. Field changes over for the left-hander. Very much the same field, except that backward square is going a little bit finer. Ishan Kishan directing traffic there. Shivam Dube is at a straightish mid-wicket, about, I'm going to say, 5 or 7 meters in from the boundary. And Abhishek Sharma right below us at long on to Miller, long off in place as well, and a sweeper cover. Washington bowls. Miller makes room, cuts. It will be fielded at the cover boundary by Rinku Singh. One more to the total, 47 for 3.
Very important the way that South Africa bowled in this little segment. And you were talking about Dewald Brevis. He's got a top score of 36 in the tournament so far. Been quiet, I think, from what we've expected. You know, we know that he's a guy who can score. They often say if he stays there for 50 balls, he'll get 100.
Well, This is the time for him to start firing. This one's pushed through a little quicker by Washington. Again, lovely sound of the bat, just eased into the covers for a single. Yeah, mixing some circumspection with aggression, always a good idea. And this has been this sort of a World Cup. I mean, I was just joking with someone the other day that if I was a cricket ball, a white cricket ball, I'd be much happier with this tournament because I'm doing things other than just being picked up from the stands. Ball has had a role to play. Washington to Miller. Miller drives, beautifully timed. I don't think he'll get there. Desperate dive will not be good enough from Tilak Varma. What a superb shot that was. Timed sweetly, placed marvelously well. And that's a kind of shot that shows Miller is in a very, very destructive mood. 23 to him, 52 for 3 after 7.
Yeah, ground.
We've seen 2 of those exquisite drives from Miller now. Really well timed. The one that beat Abhishek Sharma in the field as well. I think there's a real determination around David Miller at this tournament. We spoke about him being the man who got out at the worst time possible in 2024, and perhaps it being his last T20 World Cup. I'm absolutely sure he'll play the home ODI World Cup in 2027, but he wants a trophy, and what better place to do it than here?
Why not? And I think while it might be slightly inappropriate as an expression in the part of the country that we're in, it certainly looks like Miller time.
Yeah, no, you can't say that here.
No, it's Miller's time, is what I meant.
That you can say.
With the apostrophe, just to clarify.
That you can say.
52 for 3, 7 overs gone, and Hardik Pandya now has the ball in his hand. Been a real character, Hardik, who's worked very hard on his fitness. A fit Hardik really in many ways is the heart, I think, of this T20 India side, even though there are others who probably get more column inches and more airtime. But Hardik Pandya really does hold the key in so many different ways. Moving the fielder, I think, just a little bit to his right. Shivam Dubey not quite noticing him. And I think Hardik's sort of not very pleased with Shivam.
You can't miss him, can you, with that hair? You can see him above everything else.
It should be. Right, here he is now. First ball of his spell, and Brevis the man on strike. Hardik is in, balls to Brevis, and Brevis defends. It'll be played just past the bowler and down towards a straightish long on for a single. 53 now for 3.
So Prakash, this is what you were talking about, Dewald Brevis, and learning kind of the art of batsmanship, because he is a bludgeoner. We know that he can do that, but I think this is a good test for him to see how long can he restrain himself, how well can he rotate strike.
Absolutely, rotate strike, that's the key, isn't it? He's seeing Miller timing it to perfection virtually. Yeah. Why not? The best thing to do is take the best seat in the house, watch your partner get those runs, and when and if the time arises, you've then got your eye in and you can go while you let the new batter settle. And that's all the theory. Easy for us to talk about. Here's Hardik into Miller. Miller plays it away on the offside. Not quite where he wanted it. Fielded by Surya Kumar Yadav.
I think Hardik Pandya's shirts are probably the second most in attendance at this ground today.
You reckon?
I think Virat certainly winning. Hardik second, Rohit third, and Surya fourth.
You have relegated Rohit Sharma to 3, have you? You might be right.
Rajesh Makavana, hi bro, hi. Welcome bro.
Hardik Pandya, of course, the local boy, though he doesn't play for Gujarat, he plays for Baroda.
Hi bro,
but very much the local boy, and won the IPL here as the Gujarat Titans captain in that first season of GT. Here he is in, bowls now, and punched off the back foot out towards the long off area. Another single. And this is an aspect of the T20 game that I think has come to the fore in this tournament in particular, is the rotation of strike. The singles and the importance of those, as opposed to just the big hits, which often are associated with T20.
Yeah, I was talking to Jonathan Trott actually in his last game as Afghanistan coach, and one of the things he was saying that he really felt he needed to bring into the Afghanistan team was the understanding of hit the big shot and then take the single. These kind of cricketing basics that go beyond the ability that players have to clear the ropes, because they've got that. We know they've got that.
3 men in a ring along with the keeper behind the bat. Pandya bowls bouncer, he bails out of his, does Brevis, does well indeed, because that is a very well directed bouncer and very well played in the end. He thought about it. First instinct would have been to slam it into the stand somewhere, realized it was awkward and just bailed out at the last minute. Very well done indeed, young man.
And that is Brevis's weakness. So he's been getting out a lot to the short ball recently. He loves the pull shot, he likes it short, but he's got it wrong quite a few times. So I'm pleased to see that he pulled out of that shot there, that he seems to have got some understanding of when not to play.
India will win.
Hardik just taking a little bit
India will win surely, but I play here.
Raised, knee slightly bent.
I need to score runs, so
for Hardik and,
in a video game I need to score runs.
So very good over so far from Hardik Pandya, fairly tight. Just
last 5 wickets
3 singles of it, 1 ball to come. Can he get out of it? Well, that's the key question.
Oh, 6
all the hard work and then
எப்படி கேட்ச் பிடிச்சா
people often say that you got to concentrate a lot while you're batting. I suspect you got to concentrate as much if not more when you're bowling.
எப்படி கேட்ச் பிடிச்சான்னு தெரியலையே.
Hardik turns at the top of his run. The DJ is in overdrive. The stadium
நல்ல
is
டைமிங்
looking
பண்ணா
like a lot fuller now as people are coming in.
ஓய் எப்படி ஜம்ப் பண்ணி பிடிச்சிருக்கான் கேட்ச்.
Ahmedabad as they call it here.
Pick Pandya out. Sir Patel, last batsman.
On the onside, will they look for a second? No, they don't seem interested. Just the 1 run, so good over.
Grounded shots.
4 runs off it, and this run rate now exactly 7. 56 at the end of the 8th. 3 wickets down. This partnership is building. It's 36 of 25, and a very important one, as you said.
Okay, bro.
Hugely important. South Africa do bat.
Please subscribe and like the stream, bro.
Not part of the original squad. Brought in when Donovan Ferreira, who I suspect South Africa might miss tonight because he bowls a little bit of off spin, and they don't have a specialist off spinner in the 11. They've got Aiden Markram and Stubbs himself, but it's Tristan Stubbs brought in for Don Ferreira, who's broken his shoulder unfortunately, and will spend some time out of the game. And then they've got the all-rounders, Marco Jansen and Corbin Bosch, both of whom can hit the ball long and high.
And Marco Jansen in particular during the bilateral series showed everybody here in India what a phenomenal striker of a ball he is. Here's Varun Chakravarti. First ball has been slapped, not quite timed by Miller. Straight to Surya Kumar Yadav, the architect.
Miller 6 Varun Chakravarti.
That he only gave up architecture, which was his chosen profession at the age of 25.
Miller spin play
against talent.
Aha, last 7
This is
wickets.
way back into the stands. How many rows back is it? Oh, it is way back into the lower tier here. Massive blow from David Miller. 31 he races up to. That's his first 6 to go along with his 5 4s. So he looks to be the man that is going to drive this South African engine forward now.
Let me saw.
Terrific shot.
And the biggest we've seen of the innings so far, just the second 6. After Ryan Rickleton with that pickup shot that we saw much earlier on. But good signs from Miller.
Chakravarti bowled, and this time doing absolutely the right thing, just placing it away on the onside and getting to the other end. Nice place to be. Having just hit
Golden
63 for 3 now in the 9th. Varun Chakravarti, who's
9 wicket loss
into this what I think is becoming fairly popular to call mystery bowler, but the reality is he just bowls a whole variety of balls: off spin, leg spin, the flipper, the one that's from the front of the hand, the carom ball, all kinds of techniques. And like Ashwin, he's a very intelligent, thinking kind of cricketer, so he constantly practices new things, trying new balls, because they know they've got to rediscover themselves every time. Bowls now to Brevis, who leans back and cuts beautifully backward of point, not far. And I think the Indians are going to have a little bit of a concern with Mr. Dubey. I know Shivam finds it hard to dive. He's a big unit, but 2 or 3 times we've seen that happen. Or was it Washington Sundar? I might be unduly harsh on Shivam there. But it's 4 runs nevertheless, and very well placed. So Chakravarti has gone for a few in this over. 11 already of 4 balls. And that can disrupt the fielding side when you think your ace bowler is being taken down.
Yeah, South Africa have to target someone, so I guess they've decided it might be Chakravarti, who was expected to be the biggest threat against them.
Bowls again, and this time Brevis has gone big. Has he got enough on it? Yes, he has. That's 6 more. So you were right. I think Firdaus, they've decided that Varun Chakravarti is the man, and this is turning out to be a fantastic over from a South African perspective. 17 off it, 2 6s and a 4 already, and there's 1 more ball to come. Hit through the line and on the up, and that was a kind of a no-look 6.
It was a half-look 6.
Yes.
I'm going to give it a new
Just
name.
a peep 6.
A peep 6. We can go with that.
Yeah.
I love that shot when Dewald Brevis plays it, because it just says to me that he's thinking, I've hit it so well, I don't even have to look at where it's gone.
Yes, and it sends a signal to the bowler as well, I think, to say, I don't even need to know where it's going. I know exactly where it's headed. We saw, have you seen a no-look bowler's dismissal?
What, when you don't look at where the ball's going?
Yeah. That was
Surely
what
not.
That was what Hardik Pandya did with in the Pakistan game. I don't know if you noticed. Just looked at the batsman.
Oh, he didn't look at where the ball had gone.
No,
I see.
He knew exactly where it was going. This one's worked away nicely on the onside. Think of a run. Hardik's on it quickly. No run. And that will be the end of a very, very good over for South Africa. 17 runs coming off it. The total jumps up to 73. Miller 32, Brevis 22. And in that process, with that 6, the 50 of the partnership came up as well. Just of 31 balls. So having lost 3 for 20 now for those, South Africa looking to rebuild and now in a position, I think, to launch
45 balls, not 4 runs.
I think so, yes. I think it's also important that when you do lose these early wickets in a lineup like South Africa's, that you don't stall the scoring because you're concerned that there's not a lot of batting to come. So because they bat so long and so deep, players like David Miller and Dewald Brevis can still pretty much play a natural game. And we saw Brevis, I think it's one of the few times where I've seen him take a little bit of time to get in. He was 6 off the first 10 balls or something around that, and now he's starting to get into his stride.
Hardik with the 10th over of the innings into Miller bowls, and Miller works it into the vast open space on the onside in front of the wicket, picks up a run. It's 74 for 3.
Now I just want to see this Hardik no-look wicket that you talking about. I just want to see what this is all about, because for a moment I thought you meant he doesn't look at where the ball has gone once he's delivered it.
No, but that's exactly what happened when he I think got the wicket of Shahzada Farhan, top part of the bat, ballooning to mid-on. He knew exactly where it was going. He knew Rinku Singh was there and he just didn't look back. So there is not only the non-look batter stroke, there's also a bowler who does it. I don't think he'll do it very often. That could be dangerous.
Well, unless he trusts his fielders that much.
Yeah, Shivam Dubey limbering up below us, away to the left at deep backward square. Here's Pandya into Brevis. He bowls and Brevis works it nicely. They rush through for the first run. They look for the second and they will get it, will they? No, they decide against it because it's again the pocket dynamo. He really covers ground quickly. He's a short man like a terrier. He races over the turf, picks it up and gets it away. Does Rinku Singh.
He's quick.
He is quick.
Reminds me, I was covering the Under-19 World Cup in Namibia not so long ago, and there's a young Afghan player called Uzairullah who did everything for Afghanistan. He batted really well, took wickets and also fielded really well, and that kind of run was very similar to it, just extremely quick and covering a huge amount of ground.
Hardik in now to bowl to Miller. He's in, he bowls and Miller plays it back along the track. The crowd think it might have been a catch. It was anything but that. And no run. 75 for 3. Hardik Pandya into his second over. And Pai just walking down the pitch having a look at where Hardik's landing. But I suspect that was probably because he stopped in his follow through to field that ball, and that can do just a little bit of damage sometimes.
I like this field setting of India's where they've got short third and what would you call it? A
short backward point maybe, or square short third, fine third.
Fine third, yeah, that's probably exactly it.
So Bumrah and Shivam Dubey, the two right at the edge of that circle. Pandya is in, bowl. This one's nicely, wristily flicked away. This time they should get 2, I would think. No. So, racing in from the deep. That was, I think, Abhishek Sharma, and he threw the ball at the keeper's end. One more to the total, 76 for 3. 2
okay, guys.
To come. And I think South Africa would be now beginning to think that somewhere around 180, 190 is the bare minimum they'll need to test India's batting. They, remember, have a great bowling lineup.
We will end the live.
Hardik turns at the top of his run, comes into bowl into us from the far end. Bowls to Brevis, who defends and fields off his own bowling. He's bowling a really good line and a